and see how he's going to take it. Like I said, the owners wanted the attacking football. A lot of the fans didn't like playing out from the back. So let's see if this bit works. Let's see if new formation, the new pattern of play, the rotation of players, which I've heard a lot about. Then the owner come out and said your number one goalkeeper, Ivor Pandor, and then the feedback I get from the fans that he hasn't been the best. So we've got to judge for ourselves, and it's my first time to see it. Because I don't like getting involved in the pre-season games. I don't like seeing things like it's when it counts today. So we'll make a judgment on what happens today.
That's what our wise man says. Wise men say, ringing out around the stadium, the fans in good voice. I say it every season at the start of the new campaigns. Blind faith and optimism often leads you to think that your side can do great things in the new season. That may be questioned and a little bit tempered at the moment by some of these City supporters, but let's see as the action gets underway. Referee Keith Stroud, for the second season running, will be the official for City's first game of the new campaign, and it's Bristol City who get us started in white and maroon, with the ball played away towards that left-hand side, and a City target last season, Max Bird, in the Bristol City midfield, knocks a header down that lands at the feet of Matty Jacob, and City get their first possession. Defending the goal to our right-hand side at the south stand end of the MKM Stadium. The ball's rolled back to Ivor Pandor in a nice, bright blue.
Lovely coloured blue.
It is a lovely coloured blue. Not sure. I don't think it's in the azure blue that the third kit was last year, as Pandor nearly gets caught out on the edge of his own penalty area there. Just able to get the ball away, but City have lost possession. Ball whipped in from the right-hand side, takes a deflection, and it rolls into Ivor Pandor. And those concerns and those questions about the City keeper raising their head already within 40 seconds.
Trying a bit to look a bit too cool on the ball when he was getting closed down, and you could see inside he was panicking. Nearly give it.
Ball roll back to Pandor again. This time he doesn't mess around with it and side foots it up towards Oscar, who does well to get a foot on it. It'll be called back though for a flag for offside against the Tigers away on that far right hand side, and Bristol City have it. You can hear the Tigers fans in good voice here in the early stages. Just a couple of minutes in, not quite 2 minutes in yet, and already we've had a couple of things that sent the hearts a-fluttering, Peter Swan.
Yeah, and it's defensively again, playing out from the back, which do we get told we're probably seeing that a bit more?
No, I think it's going to happen. He just wants it to move faster. That's the difference. He will play this way. You'll see the ball getting brought out more, like here Sean McLaughlin trying to venture into almost a right back position there, and then he lays it off for Louis Coyle because Bristol City weren't playing ball, and that's what
dangerous.
Yeah, it is. Rolled back to Pandor in his 6-yard box. They really are playing deep at the moment. They've been pressed high by Bristol City, and that's all well and good, isn't it? We talk about how teams want to play, Swanee, and managed to have the fortune. I'll watch this for a second because maybe Amir can nip in and try and get it away, but the keeper plays it to O'Leary plays it, but to Slater. Slater, right side of the box, whips a cross in, and actually he fires it in towards the near post. I'm not sure if that was a cross or a shot. Either way, it forced O'Leary, the keeper, into a save. A corner for the Tigers, 2.5 minutes gone, it's 0-0 Swanee.
Well, like I say, we're on about concerns about the defending there, the attacking, how quick they move the ball in and around outside of the box, and the decision making there by Slater to get a shot. It was a shot. It wasn't a cross. He tried nicking it past the keeper on the near post there. It was a great strike, and the keeper did well to react last minute.
Giles with a cross in, might drop in the 6-yard box, and that one will bounce wide. It was dangerous. It was into a tricky area for Bristol City to deal with, but a Tigers player couldn't get a head on it. Just the slightest of touches would have at least caused O'Leary to have to do something with it, Swanee.
Yeah, you can easily see them go in, even off the defender when it got put in a good area. There's 4 or 5 heads going up at the same time. As a defender myself, you just think I've just got to get something on that, and at times you just flick it and go past your keeper, but it's a good ball whipped in, just any little touch there.
So Slater's was a shot for you. I wasn't sure if he was trying to bend it in, but then it seemed very purposeful at that near post, didn't it?
Yeah, he knew what he was doing there.
And they've won it back City again in a high position, but Stroud, the referee, doesn't like it. He's pulled it back for a free kick against Bristol City. He was the official in charge, as I said, Swanee, at Norwich. Opening day last season, there was the controversy. He sent Liam Rosenior off, if you remember.
Yeah.
And the ball that we thought had gone out of play on the far side, and he allowed play on, and they got the corner, and Norwich ended up scoring the late winner. So hopefully no controversy or drama like that affects City this time, unless it's in a positive sense, of course. Good to be back with you on BBC Radio Humberside. Good to be back with you as well, Swanee.
And yourself, Michael.
Missed you.
I've missed you.
Have you?
Yeah, so that must have been I've had a bad summer if I've missed you.
When the bar's set that low.
Yeah.
I know it is. That's fine. Thank you for that. I'll take back everything. No, I won't take back everything I said because I'm not vindictive like that.
No,
I'll still be nice.
I'm only joking, Michael.
I know how you're feeling about next week. I'm trying to be good to you. Here's McLaughlin, steps up to halfway. Jacob will dink one down the left-hand side. That's going to have to be defended by Viner, and it is. And out for a City throw-in. Correction. Keith Stroud's changed his mind. It's out for a Bristol City throw-in. They've got Max O'Leary in goal, a back four of George Tanner, Zach Viner, Rob Dickey and Cameron Pring, a midfield three of Joe Williams, Jason Knight and Max Bird, looking as though he's playing the advanced of the three. I was told he probably would do. Jason Knight had played that role but was looking to play a more deeper position this season, and he's been given his wish. Mark Sykes on the right, Anis Mehmeti on the left, and Sinclair Armstrong a play with pace up front. And here is Bird. He's going to send one in, and here's a chance maybe for Bristol. It's been scuffed by Armstrong. Ball still held up though by Mehmeti inside the area. They look to try and build something here inside the left edge of the penalty area. The Tigers defending, three players around him. Ball is crossed in, doesn't get far though as it hits the midsection of Louis Coyle, and that one goes out for a Bristol City corner away on that left-hand side. Thankfully, it hit his midsection, not his face, because Louis Coyle, even in pre-season, was taking whacks to the old noggin. He's had a few of those in the last 12 months.
Looking at their first attack there, let's say Max Bird exploited the pace of McLaughlin down our left-hand side. Got it past him, whips in, and not the cleanest of strikes by Sinclair Armstrong, who does need more than one opportunity to score a goal, but he gets himself in good positions a lot. Yeah,
I'll come back to you on the defence in a second. As the ball's played in short to Mehmeti, it's laid out to that left-hand side, played behind to Bird, who just drops around the outside of Amur and then across towards the back of the penalty area. You might be wondering why there's a different pronunciation from what we went with the Turkish international from last season. We've had a new guide on the pronunciation. It's Abdush Amur, not Abdush Irma. We'll work on it. It might drop in from time to time as that one's drilled by Williams away to that left side, but it'll run out for a goal kick. The Sean McLaughlin one, pace isn't his strong point, is it? And he is going to be asked to play at times quite high up, and if they lose possession, that's going to be the concern in behind, isn't it?
100%, and I think that's what's happened in pre-season, hasn't it? It's happened straight away there in the first 6 minutes of the game. I say I won't even say we caught out of position. It was just sheer pace that Max Bird did him on the outside of him.
Yeah. The left side of the defence has been where some of the questions have been asked. Matty Jacob has just dropped in. He needs some cover there. McLaughlin comes across to provide it, and that one's swung in by Sykes, but that one goes behind and out for a goal kick. City's bench this afternoon, by the way. Anthony Richopi, the new keeper, Swish, signed from Young Boys. He's on the bench. Liam Miller, who was announced at 7 o'clock last night, Canadian international, former Liverpool winger, is there. On loan from Manchester City, defender Finn Burns, 21 years of age, and then it's made up of Brandon Fleming, Andy Smith, Will Jarvis, Tyrell Sellers-Fleming, Stan Ashby and Nathan Tinsdale. And I say made up, and I just mean that in the sense of it's not players that really you would have been expecting to see involved in the first team all the time at the moment. Young players still trying to make their way. And I think Andy Smith would have been wanting to maybe see a bit more action perhaps within that, but it just shows where City are at currently. Brandon Fleming back in the squad. Nice football there from Bristol City as the ball's played to this right side to Sykes. Crossing on the left foot. It hits Jacob. Laid back to Jacob by Simons, Malem, I should say, who plays it to this left side to Giles. That's forward. Lovely ball, and City have got some space. Oscar tries to hold his line. Flag's going to go up eventually because he didn't hold his line. And that's a frustrating one for City. He's looking down it. Could he have done better there, Swanee?
Yeah, of course he could.
Didn't know if the ball needed to be played earlier.
No, he went miles too early in there. If he can hold it for another couple of yards there, he's got space. It was like 5 yards on one side, 10 yards on the other. There was loads of space for him to go into. But that's what we're on about, the quickness of moving the ball. When he opened up there, I think when Jacob got the ball, he had three players running directly towards goal rather than coming looking short and keeping it. They were looking to get behind him.
It was the nice link-up with Jacob and Malem, wasn't it? Malem played it in and he made the advanced run and he found the little diagonal pass for him. And it acres of space, and that's the way we've seen this. Again, like I said, I had the fortune of watching them in Turkey. Pre-season's very different because you're playing according to what you want your team to do, aren't you?
Yes.
You're not dependent on what the opposition throw at you. Pre-season's a little bit different. When it comes to these kind of games, you're not always going to be afforded that kind of space, are you?
No, it's going to be interesting. Like I say, when you do get a McLaughlin or a Jones and Coyley we know on that side bombs up and down, but it's the centre halves which my concern, if they get found out in that midfield and they lose the ball, it's the big hole and gap behind them that teams will exploit. And the lad we've seen already up front, that Sinclair Armstrong, big, strong, quick. He's had one chance. He needs more than one chance. He needs 3 or 4 chances to score a goal, which is a good point. It's a good for us, really.
Scored 4 goals in 40 appearances last season for Queen's Park Rangers. 4 in his 64 for the team that he came through the youth system with in total. As Tim Walter just tells them to calm it down with the hand signals. Something you see very often. Normally the arms are going everywhere, the histrionics from him, and he gets very frustrated. Nice footwork there to just step inside. One number 6 to another. McLaughlin getting away from Bird as Coyle just shuffles it away to the right side. He gets body checked.
Now, stop there.
By Mehmeti.
Look where McLaughlin is now. Right side midfield. He's played the ball forward or sideways. It's continued his run.
Yeah.
And if that gets cut out or Coyle loses it, fair enough there, he got a free kick. There's a big hole and gap. Yeah, you can see what they're trying to do and get extra bodies into certain areas and overload areas, so they've got the extra body to pass around them. But you need to keep the ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. As you said, you can have someone drop in, but it's
great when it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll open teams up. Like I say, they'll be outnumbered.
Eva Pando, just holds the ball up in front of Armstrong, gives it to Jacob. He's going to be closed down, but he's able to swing that one down that left-hand side, headed away by Tanner into the path of Mehmeti, into the path of Malem, I should say. He was dragged back and booked. You can tell it's the opening game of the season. I'm getting names wrong early on. It'll get better, I promise. 11 minutes in, that's a booking. Did you see who it was booked?
No.
We'll find out.
Just looking at the first goal scored in the Championship. Leeds 1-0 at home to Portsmouth.
Early goals going in there. Nothing here. 0-0 at the moment. But a booking for a Bristol City player and a free kick for the Tigers. It's about, 35 yards out? Away. Not quite, just inside what would be the left edge of the penalty area further up the field. You've got Malem and Amir over it. Malem, the right footer, he's got a brace, it looks like, or a cast of some sort. Black cast on his right hand. Sort of lilac boots, I think. And it looks like this might be Amir who curls this one in towards, and it's come across to the left-hand side. A shot by Jacob, saved by the keeper. Now it's cleared away by Bristol City. That was a lovely ball swung in. Oscar didn't get the touch, but it was knocked into the path of Jacob. Jacob swung with his left foot. The keeper dropped down to it. It could have gone anywhere, but the visitors are able to deal with it. A chance for the Tigers, 0-0.
Unfortunate there. Jacob caught it sweet as. He wanted to swing it. It was a great strike. He knew exactly what he was trying to do.
Amir chipped it over for Giles. Giles in towards the edge of the area. He just couldn't find Malem, but it comes back to Malem now, near the byline. Squares one across, intended for Slater, but that one's read and defended by Rob Dickey. Played away. City in the ascendancy here. 12 minutes gone. 0-0 in the MKM Stadium on BBC Radio Humberside on the opening day of the season. 2 games to come at 3 o'clock for Grimsby Town and Scunthorpe United as well. But the Tigers in action here. And here's Amir slips it in, wearing the number 10 on his back. Changing number for him. Now Giles. Cross ball in towards Oscar. Saved by the keeper, who really just had to react. It was an instinct save from O'Leary, the Bristol City keeper, but City are threatening and looking dangerous at the moment. Opportunity for the Tigers. Swanee.
Yeah, fantastic. I think he's done everything right, apart from it's great contact, a great whipped ball in by Giles. All you're asking for Oscar to, if you remember his first season when he scored 8 goals at first 10 games, whatever, and he could have had 16 if you remember. He had that many opportunities, chances, and that one there, you're asking him to score. He's like 5-6 yards out. He's hit it straight at the keeper. The keeper, you're saying his reaction, I think it hit him more than anything else. Either side of him, it's a great goal.
I just saw the little right hand move, that was all. I was wondering if that was an instinct more than...
Possibly, but you'd expect any striker there to score. Even though he got a clean contact on it, he's got to score there.
Yeah. Just guide it either side, and it causes the problem, because it's just that glancing touch is all you need,
doesn't need
isn't
to put no pace on it, it's just direction of it.
3 opportunities though. Slater, Jacob and Oscar with the best one so far.
Yeah.
But it's 0-0. Promising start, Swanee.
Very, yeah. Going forward, yeah. But I think it's still in the back of my mind. 16 goals pre-season conceded.
Yes.
4. And you can see why, because they do look like they're going to create chances, which is good. But it's the other side that we need to keep the door shut.
Some of that, again, not making excuses, some of that coming against a Champions League side in Fenerbahce when things started to open up. But still, yeah, you've still got to base it on what you see, haven't you?
As Doncaster, are they in Champions League?
They're not. That's the one, exactly. That's the flip side of it. Nice ball. Weighted towards Giles. Giles going to try and take on his man. Slides a low cross in, but it's defended by Bristol City. Played out of the area.
They're not messing about when they're getting opportunities, Mike. Do you know, out wide, if they're getting a half a yard, especially Giles down this left-hand side, has put 3 great balls in.
That's what he wants them to do, as Mehmeti will play Sinclair Armstrong away down that left side, outside the box. He's played behind to Pring. Pring near the angle of the area, in front of the east stand, then plays it inside to the captain, Knight. Knight forward to Bird. Slid to the right side to Sykes, near the angle of the box on that right side. Cross is blocked by Jacob. That's a Bristol City corner kick. 15 minutes gone. 0-0 then here on BBC Radio Humberside, FM Digital and Freeview. And that's what Tim Volter wants. He wants that purpose, that high intensity, a bit of purpose about the play.
Yeah, I like what I see going forward.
Got to make sure you're tight and safe at the other end, though, and that will be the questions. Looking to rectify that. Charlie Hughes still a target. Corner for Bristol City. Floated in by Bird towards the back. That one is a free kick for City. A little shove on Matty Jacob there.
Yeah, no arguing that.
No. The Bristol City bench. Stefan Bajic, the sub-keeper. Kyle Naismith. Fally Mayulu, one of the new signings. Sam Bell, Naki Wells. Fally Mayulu.
Well done.
Fally. Thank you. You were trying to trip me up there. Taylor Gardner-Hickman. Hayden Roberts. Josh Stokes. Leo Peakover. You can tell the season's back. Swanee started already. 16 minutes in.
QPR 1-0 up at home to West Brom.
There we are. The classified results service with Peter Swan. I'll keep an eye on the action. You keep an eye on the scores, Swan.
No, I can do 2 things. I'm a man.
Whoa, ball given away. Maybe an opportunity. Bristol City. Bird with a shot that he's dragged it wide. And there's a let-off for City. Yes. We switched off there because we thought City were comfortable. And
no, I didn't switch off, Mike, like I was saying. I was watching.
You were watching.
As well as doing the scores. It was Coyley there. He's going to play the ball. He's played it into the centre midfield, right into the D on the edge of the box to try and play out there. And you lose it there like we've just lost it there with Jacob again. Giving it away in silly areas because they're bombing on. You look there, they've got 4 or 5 men in our box now.
And there are the gestures from Tim Volter. The arms went up in the air, the hands went on the head. Is a ball on the right side with Knight. That's blocked by City. Out for a Bristol throw-in on this right-hand side in front of the West Stand. BBC Radio Humberside, 17 minutes gone. It's goalless. It's Mike and Swanee with you back for another season following the Tigers. And we're through until 6 o'clock. We'll talk City after this game and after 5 o'clock as well. Remember, Football League commentaries, we can't bring you them online via BBC Sounds, but either side, pre and post match we can. And of course, we'll get you closer to your club with all the interviews on the Hull City page on BBC Sounds. Here's Mehmeti, slips one away to space. Pring on the left side. Ball comes into the area and Mehmeti just gets a touch on it, and that just trundles, eventually reaches Pando, who drops to his left, but never really needed to dive as such. Just made sure he got his hands on it, and it remains 0-0.
I think he already had dived.
Yeah.
He was waiting for the ball coming to him. It was that slow, but like saying, that was too easy. A better contact there, we're in trouble again. So the first 15 minutes has been 5 great opportunities, 3 for us, 2 for them. So if it's that the way we're going to play this season, it's going to be entertaining, Mike. We're not going to get bored, are we?
No, it's going to be interesting. I think that was the feeling once we knew Tim Volter was coming in, once we heard about his style of football, and as you see it,
it's like the old Kevin Keegan style of football.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do.
We'll score more goals than you.
That's the one. Well, yeah. And it's something Adrian Ilagella has spoken about for a while. He's often spoken about that you know, if we lose 3-2 but we've played in an attacking way, then he's pleased, not pleased that they've lost, but wants to see a side that will go for it. And that ultimately, he says, is what cost Liam Rosenior his job and saw him leave after that Plymouth game at the end of last season. And it's why the Tim Volter era gets underway here today in terms of competitive games. We've seen them play in pre-season, 2 in Turkey, Doncaster, of course, we mentioned, Newcastle, Fiorentina, and finishing at Reading, a Reading friendly that was very nearly costly. A few injuries in there, one serious one in Ryan Longman, who's got a dislocated shoulder. He requires surgery on that. And Tim Volter wasn't happy with the physical nature of the game. And that was a fixture that was set up by Liam Rosenior for one of his former clubs before he left as well. That might be a bigger frustration as that one, did that come off the referee? No, it's run for Jacob anyway, and City get the ball back, sent away down the left side. It's going to drop down to the feet of Ryan Giles, playing that in that more advanced position on the left side of an attacking 3. Malem just didn't quite get full control of that one, and it ends up bouncing up and off his knee and out for a throw in. Bristol City ball on this left side.
Sunderland 1-0 up away at Cardiff. People were saying Sunderland had struggled this season. Getting off to a good start.
The other games today, Oxford 0, Norwich City 0. Oxford up for the first time in 25
They're all
years.
0-0, Mike, apart from the ones I've told you.
Exactly. Stoke and Coventry is one of the other games. I won't say 0-0 because I'm just clarifying who's playing. Middlesbrough and Swansea.
You want to watch this game, you?
Millwall.
I'll keep you up to date if we're going to do it as a team.
Is that right? Is that how we're doing it, yeah?
I think so,
That's
yeah.
fine.
I'd hate you to miss anything.
It doesn't take much.
See the pace here, this lad.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Armstrong going to try and chase onto it. And that's one of the things they brought him in for. But as you said, it's about what opportunities he takes, isn't it?
He's going to get himself in positions there, and the pace there, they're just looking for that space, which you're on about, behind the full-backs. He just launched into the area there, and he was galloping away. Pandor saw that and come out and cleared lines.
City won the first home league game of last season, that victory against Sheffield Wednesday, which, if you remember, came off the back of the disappointment in the Cup against Doncaster Rovers. This time it'll be Sheffield Wednesday in the first round of the League Cup. That's on Wednesday night. We'll be here for that. Chris Cooper will be alongside us, bringing you the programme as well in another busy week of sport as City get themselves a free kick in their own half, away on that far right-hand side. And Mur was brought down, and that free kick will be left for Louis Coyle to take.
The booking in the game early with Williams, Mike.
It was Williams.
Yeah.
Thank you. In the book for him, it was a clear one, wasn't it, as he pulled Malem back. Jacob going to try and play that one away, and again a hand to the face of Tim Volter as it goes out for a throw-in.
What's it been like to talk to Volter, Mike?
Good, yeah, really good. A real
Is he going to give the fans information?
That's the thing he gave a little bit on Thursday, a little bit more, but I think that's because literally Finlay Burns was in the building. They just hadn't announced his signing at that point. He's a little bit guarded in that sense, doesn't want to talk about any players if they're not his. But yeah, I like him, comes across well. Managed to spend a bit of time with him in Istanbul, which helped before.
Oh, is that trip that you forgot to invite me on?
Swanee, I looked for you. We were waiting for you at Humberside Airport, but you didn't turn up, so I'm not, there's only so much we can do.
You've got to tell me when you go in, what day you go in, Mike.
Is that the information I missed out?
That's the big information.
Sorry, I knew there was a problem. I knew there was something.
You can wait as long as you want, but if I've not been told what day it is.
If you'd have been with us, you might have protected me, because Baz Cooper from the Hull Daily Mail didn't, from the pack of wild dogs that nearly attacked us when we went for a nice walk. Anyway, that's one for a quiet moment as Giles swings across in behind the goal, out for a Bristol City goal kick. We're midway inside the first half here at the MKM Stadium, 0-0 on the opening day of the football season. Yeah, and I needed your protection for that, Swanee.
Yeah, I'd have been there.
Hairy.
I'm a dog whisperer.
Exactly. See, that's what I thought. You'd have been just the man to turn to.
I'd have sorted it.
There's a little bit of a wild dog problem in Turkey, apparently, and we nearly came a cropper as a result of it. We're here to tell the tale. It was an interesting trip. Good to be able to spend some time actually seeing how he wants them to play, with it being a new manager, and you could see that.
You've seen the difference already, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. There will still be those questions defensively about how this side are going to deal with that half of it.
He's off again, the big lad lot.
Yeah, Armstrong tries to make
Not the
that
best
run.
ball.
No, not a good ball, and McLaughlin turns in, and he's turned that back blindly. And Panda will get that one away, but if that had been a little bit more wayward, Armstrong had an opportunity to nip in there. That was a little bit reckless from Sean McLaughlin. You'd expect better from him, wouldn't you, with his experience?
The experience there tells you not to play the ball blind there. This lad behind him missed him by a yard. He's got to be aware, unless he was aware and he knew.
Maybe a chance here. Simons, that's a good ball through on the diagonal run from Oscar, who tries the shot. He's slipping as he does it. He had some support inside him in Malem and Amir, but the shot's collected by the keeper. Wrong option there, Swanee.
Wrong option, and just not about awareness as a defender, awareness as a striker there. If he gets his head up, he sees that there's two players gone to his right-hand side.
Ball into Max Bird, maybe Bristol City at the other end. Good work from Jacob, just sticks a foot in. Could have easily given away a foul, but it was a clean challenge, and now City will try and break at the other end again.
How quick have they gone from there to there? That's good.
Malem, away on that right-hand side in those lilac boots. Plays it back behind to Coyle, steps inside, looking for an option, and he finds it in McLaughlin, who's high up the field. Then away to this left-hand side to Giles. Back inside to McLaughlin again. Just one touch on the ball, then steps forward. Lays it off for Giles again. Now Simons. Interesting to see what he's going to do this season, because there's clearly a player in there, but there's just not been enough time to see it from him so far. And then City fans getting frustrated because the Tigers have gone back to Eva Pando.
They're getting used to now, in the first 25 minutes of us playing the ball forward, somebody play the ball back. What's happening? Get it forward. Be patient. There's a big difference from what we've seen from last year.
Someone will be shouting, "Sort it out, Rossini," in a second.
There's been some more goals, Mike. Portsmouth have equalised 1-1. Watford's gone 1-0 up away at Millwall. QPR West Brom 1-1.
Here's Armstrong again for Bristol City. Mehmeti gets in behind the defender, but he's offside.
Well, it's going to be a game of chances.
Yeah, it's very open, isn't it?
Very open, yeah.
There'll be other teams that are going to exploit that more, though, aren't there? With respect to a Bristol City. I mean, they may
That's
still.
That's the concern, isn't it?
They may still. 26 minutes in.
They'll definitely have chances.
Yeah.
But it's whether we create more and take our chances. That Oscar, that great opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a chance.
I do remember that season when it's got us a cracking start, and then we were talking, he could have doubled it. It should have been double, the opportunities he got.
Yeah, it was 14 goals in total in his 43 City appearances, because he got 13 in that first season, one which was the League Cup game here, wasn't it, against Doncaster, the only high point of that game. I remember us watching that one thinking, what is going on here? There was a point, wasn't there, where
everyone
just stood still. Yeah.
Yeah. And the keeper had nobody to pass it to.
Yeah. It was like a freeze for him.
It was.
From high up. As McLaughlin slides in to pip Armstrong to the ball. Puts it out for a Bristol City throw-in on this near side. I'm going to give you a stat in a second, Swanee, about the goals that City scored last season and the players who scored them. But we'll wait till there's a break in play as we hit 27 minutes here. Goalless at the MKM Stadium. BBC Radio Humberside, bringing you every game live as we continue on BBC Radio Humberside Sport to bring you closer to your club. Here's Viner. Now Tanner dinks one up towards Armstrong, who does well to shield it away and then just uses that strength to get away from McLaughlin. Did that go out? The official says eventually it did.
Yeah, it took a while, didn't it?
That'll be a throw-in.
Next to him.
So 68 league goals scored last season, Swanee.
Yep.
The scorers of only 5 of those goals are remaining at the club. Slater got 2, Seri, Jones and Coyle. The remaining goal scorers are all gone from the club.
Seri, how many did he get?
1. Jones got 1, Coyle got 1. Seri's not involved at all today and seemingly on his way. There's been suggestions of Saudi Arabia for him. So Slater, Jones and Coyle are in this side.
I've got to say that if the BBC over there come calling Mike, I'm gone.
There you go.
I've forgot who you are.
Just to go and cover Mika Seri in Saudi.
I'm going.
Swanee once again proving what many Plymouth fans thought. He's got no morals. As Bristol City going to try and break on the counter-attack. Jones is dragged to the ground by Armstrong, and that'll be a free kick.
He didn't need to, did he, Armstrong?
No.
So I think he's got that power and pace to get to the other side of him.
He was taking his name a little bit too literally there as he just dragged Jones to the ground.
Well said. That's quick. That's good early season.
Is it?
I like that, yeah.
All right.
Armstrong. Good.
I'm still feeling like I'm in pre-season mode, just trying to warm into it a little bit, Swanee. But
That's good.
Alfie Jones, by the way, 149 City appearance today. So whether or not he features on Wednesday, so it'll either come on Wednesday or it'll be down in Devon on Saturday. As long as he gets up from this, he's just taking a minute or two, isn't he, just to get back to his feet. I was chatting to him. We'll hear from him actually in the build-up to that game on Wednesday. He enjoyed his first summer with his new little girl, who's nearly 8 months now. Missed just one game last season, did Alfie Jones. That was the one down at QPR, because he was there for the birth of his first child.
Hey, I'm a granddad now.
Oh, you are?
I'm a granddad.
Yeah, I meant to say congratulations, Granddad Swan.
First granddad, thank you.
To George and Amber.
George and Amber, yeah. Little Harry George we've had. Well, not little, he's 2 weeks old and he's walking and talking. He's that big. He's that big.
Better than you.
You can understand him, yeah.
Wait until Grandad's been around him a while. That'll soon
I'll sort him out.
Bring him back down to earth. Now, great news, Swanee. Really pleased.
Thank you. It's a great feeling.
We'll no doubt toast that at some point on our travels. There's McLaughlin and Sinclair Armstrong, and McLaughlin was trying to rugby tackle him there. He's all over. Surely that's going to see him go in the book, isn't it?
No. He's got away with it, like you say.
I'm surprised.
He knew that if he lets him go, he's gone.
Because that was a bit more than just a little defensive tussle, wasn't it? He properly.
The first little couple of nudges, you could see he was like shoulder against shoulder, but the lad got turned on him. That's when he had to put his arm in front of him. Then that's what the referee saw. But I think if it had stayed in play, the referee would have played on there because there was that much space behind him.
So free kick then to Bristol City. We're inside the final 15 minutes of this first half. It's going to be Joe Williams that will take it. Former Everton youngster, signed from Wigan back in 2020. Left arms up in the air, a couple of yards in from the right touchline, 35 yards out, whipped in and headed away from just inside the box by Jacob. Out as far as Bristol City. Out as far as halfway in a Bristol City player, I should say, Pring. One of the youth players in the visitors' side. And it's back in a... I'm trying to think, is that a puce? Sort of pinky kind of goalkeeper kit. Not quite as bright as some of them you'd see. It's sent forward. Someone will correct me and tell me that's not the right use of puce. As McLaughlin, a bit of footwork there to get away from one challenge, then gives it away in Bristol City, get it back inside the Tigers' half. It's with Pring. Tries to play it to Knight. The option's not there, so goes across to Williams. Now Tanner. Way to this right side to Sykes. Back into the area. That's covered by Simons, who comes across and out for a corner. Muted applause from the Tigers fans, who've just gone a bit quiet and maybe feel a bit edgy all of a sudden, Swan.
They have come quiet, haven't they? McLaughlin there had another tug of his shirt, so it won't be long before he's getting in the book. Yeah, referee will keep an eye on that one. Keith Stroud of Hampshire. Originally, I can't think he's travelled from Hampshire. I can't think he's based there now. Why not? Seems an unnecessary trip for surely there's referees closer by that could have worked into the rotation. Mind you, games all over the shop now, aren't there, with the new TV deal. Corner for Bristol City from the right side in towards the back, and Pando comes flying out. No doubts or hesitation about that one. No, he's a good safe pair of hands. Not many bodies around him there to take it nice and clean, which will give him a bit of confidence. And the long ball downfield is headed out. So you can see there they are mixing up a little bit. Yes, they will play it out from the back and sometimes a little bit precariously, but Pando going a bit more direct, a bit more old school, we'd probably say. Yeah. Players we talked about last year, which we're hoping to make an impact this year. Amur. Yeah. Not touched it. No. Clearly there's a play there, but you want to see the numbers, don't you? You need to see more in terms of assists, and still waiting for his first goal for the club as well. I agree with you. And touches today, he's not been involved. No, he's not. Oh, and that's given away by Giles as McLaughlin had stepped in, and now here's where the space opens up, and an opportunity for Williams, edge of the area. He's going to lay the ball off. Chance for Bristol City. The avenue's just been blocked off. Still going though. Knight tries to slip it in. Wayward ball. Out for a goal kick. 33 minutes gone, 0-0. City will be relieved at that one, I think. Yeah, better teams exploit that. We go 1-0 down, don't we? And that's by giving the ball away. You can see what they're trying to do, but if they don't get it right, that's a punishment you get punished with. Yeah. And comes back to what we said. You said it there, better teams. You look at teams who are maybe expected to be up there, your Burnley, Sheffield United's, Leeds. Even teams on the day. Like that. Yeah, well, absolutely. Like you said earlier as well, these will probably, would they get another opportunity? Well, they've just had it there.
Yeah.
Are they good enough to take it? That's what we're hoping not.
Jones holds the ball up
things
outside.
Like this is nervous.
Yeah.
For me.
Given by Panda to Alfie Jones, just near the edge of his 6-yard box, but City do get that one away, headed clear by Dickey. And here come the visitors again in an advanced position. Bird lays it off to Armstrong, right-hand side. Then played in field. Williams. Cross to the right side to Tanner. Just noticed something regarding the lines, but it's just me being a bit picky. Here's Knight again. Tries to thread it through, but that's read by Jacob and weaves his way out of trouble. Gives it to Giles. Wanted another option, I think. And that one is coming back, is it, for a free kick?
Come on, Mike, what's your lines thing?
Just looking at some, it's just like someone hadn't done the full paint job. The sides of the penalty areas just look as though someone's not completed the job.
Good spot, especially on the right one.
Yeah, the 18-yard one.
So well done, Mike. You've just got someone the sack.
Just
Cheers.
Giving someone a little kick up the backside, Swanee. You know, that's all it is. Coyle's
Great
done
ball.
well there to step inside and floats one away to this left side to Giles in front of the West Stand. He's going to lay it back for Amur. Amur first time ball and it's not picked up by a City player, and then Jacob with a foul as he tries to get in on it. And that'll be a free kick to Bristol City. And a chance goes away again. 35 minutes gone, 0-0.
It's like basketball, isn't it? Chances at both ends there. Great ball by Coyle, saw the danger. Put behind the back to Giles, who's whipped 3 or 4 good balls in already this half. On that occasion there, put it in. Ahmed made a great run, and it's one of them little deft touches where he's got to just like help it on its way. And he did, he helped it on its way into a danger. I don't think he could get much power on it to get the strike to trouble the keeper.
Because he was sweeping at it, wasn't he?
He was coming at pace that way, and it's that hard to just whip back in. But he tried putting an air. If anybody else had been on the move, coming across the defender, it'd been a nice side foot shot past the keeper.
I was a bit curious as to whether Jacob was staying down to try and avoid the yellow card coming out, but it didn't happen when he did get back to his feet, which he has now done, and got back into his left back position. Referee Keith Stroud just gave him the little finger wag more than anything else. As the keeper slips it out. Oh, nearly given away by Williams. City trying to press high again, and that's good work from Oscar. Gets a foot in, and he's done well at the second attempt, and City win possession back inside the Bristol City half. Left-hand side. Floats across in, does Giles in towards Slater. Head up in the air. He couldn't get any more on it. And the visitors will take that one away, and it's played away to that left-hand side to Mehmeti, the English-born Albanian international. Signed from Wickham, where he made just under 100 appearances. And Bristol City have it back again in those white shirts. I think it is maroon shorts, isn't it? Even from up here. It's not red to resemble their usual home colours.
I don't know much about Northampton, but I'd say that's a Northampton kit.
Yes. Or don't do that. You know what happened at the start of last season? Good grief. For those not aware,
we don't play Northampton, so if you get that wrong, you need the sack.
Yeah, fair point. That was, for those who don't remember, Sheffield Wednesday played in colours resembling Norwich, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I ended up calling them Norwich about 15 times during the commentary. That's how I described it and put it in my head. You're right, though, it is very Northampton-esque in that maroon. But it is Bristol City, who the Tigers played here in the opening game of the season 2 years ago, I should say, not 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago. That late John Michael Serry goal with a slight deflection, giving them the winner against what was then Nigel Pearson's side. Here's Giles down the line to Sean McLaughlin, who's the left winger at the moment. Tries to get a cross in. Handball, say the fans, as it bounced up. Keith Stroud unmoved by it. And that one's played away and cleared up towards Max Bird as Jacob tries to get in there. Referee says play on, up towards Armstrong at halfway. Turns away from Simons, tries to get between Slater. Great strength, shrugs off the challenger Simons. Still Armstrong, slips it to the right side to Sykes. Sykes drags it back onto his left foot, tries a curling shot just wide. Goal kick, 0-0. Wow.
Proper strikers play there by Armstrong. Got the ball, 2 players around him. He just like shrugged them both off and played the ball between them, got his elbows out, pushed his way through, and then he got the pace to get away from it. And then his final little ball there was just over it, which, fortunate for us, he just like pushed it too far wide where the lad had to have a touch on it. If he'd have played it into his path, he could have had a shot straight away. I think with Mark Sykes had tracked him on the right hand side. Just a bad pass, and that's probably his end product, probably why he's still, I say, at Bristol, because he's got seems to have everything else, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. as Pando will play that one away with the goal kick. We've got 6.5 minutes left of this first half, plus any added on time. At half-time, we'll hand you to Matt Dean over on the northwest coast as we build up to our other two games this afternoon on Humberside Sport. Grimsby Town away at Fleetwood to get started. David Artell's first full season in charge of the Mariners. And Andy Butler, who has a long and deep connection with Scunthorpe United, will be manager of a competitive game for the first time as they're away at Brackley Town. Ollie Turner and Steve Torpey there for that. Gary Croft and Matt Dean at Fleetwood. Here it's Mike and Swanee with you. We're getting on towards half-time. Here's Bristol City in possession again as Pring tries to get round the outside of Coyle. Coyle just gets a foot in. Did well there not to give anything away as far as a foul. It was in the area as well, but good challenge from Coyle. It just halts the momentum, but Bristol City still have possession. It's with Pring again in those light blue boots. It's played behind to Williams with the number 8 on his back. Now back to Rob Dickey, across to Zach Viner, who's eligible to play for Kenya, uncapped at the moment, has been involved in their setup, and then slipped to this right side to Sykes. Sykes, ball into the area to Knight. Knight whips one across through the penalty area. It'll run through to Pring. Pring back inside to Williams, and he scooped that one, and it's wide and high, and it's a City goal kick, and we've hit 40 minutes. Peter Swan.
Yeah, evenly matched with chances. Good chances as well. Both teams, it could have easily been 2-2 this game, and we wouldn't have been moaning about it. It's just like the players in front of goal have not took the opportunities when it arose for them.
Again, going back to what we said, it's been really, really open, but maybe concerningly so.
Is that
sometimes.
what the owner wants, though? Entertainment?
Well, he wants entertainment, and City have given the ball away again. Chance for Bristol City. This is the best one so far, perhaps, and Pando's there. He's done well. Still runs away to the left side, though, to Armstrong. Maybe an opportunity. Edge of the penalty area. Ball slipped into the box. Williams can't control it, and Giles can play that one away. City managed to avert the danger. Oscar's going to close down Dickey. He had a couple of yards advantage as did the defender, and Oscar got close. But Bristol City able to get it back again.
Well, people's questions, Pandor, I've only first time I've seen him today, and he took one nicely in the air, and that one, great block. Got himself there. Stood up as long as he could. Probably took it in his face, to be fair, or his chest. But he stood up brave. Let's say he's kept his team in it.
He has. He's done well. And Tim Volter opting to start with him. It's the keeper predominantly that he's been leading with in pre-season. He's had others involved, of course. There's a long ball forward for Armstrong, and that was going to bounce. And Panda has to head of that because he'd come right to the edge of his area. And he was on the point of potentially giving away a foul. Yeah, very good decision. And he did well, did the 6'1" keeper. Doesn't look that much when you look at him from here.
No, he's not the biggest, is he?
No. 6'1" though, same as Richopi, who's been brought in. Anthony Richopi, who's the sub-keeper on the bench. Bird tries to slide one down the line, deep in that City half. Giles is there to defend it, just plays it away. He and Matty Jacob just exchange a couple of strong words between themselves. Jason Knight shrugs off the challenge, maybe too easily, of Oscar Estepinian, and Knight gives it to Sykes. Sykes with the number 17 on his back. Back to Knight, sends a cross in, defended by McLaughlin, played away to Jacob, who needs some support. Instead, that's going to come off the back of a defender, and then eventually City get it back with Malem, who's not got involved enough yet, has he?
He hasn't, no. As Portsmouth go 2-1 up at Ellen Road.
Well,
it's a great league, this, isn't it? Who knows what's happening?
It's crazy. Portsmouth, one of the teams to come up, of course. Oxford leading Norwich by 1-0. City started at Norwich last season, as we mentioned. Oxford coming up into the Championship for the first time, is it 25 years? There's Bristol City, who are still yet to be a Premier League club, denied, of course, back in 2008 by Hull City for their first venture into the top flight of English football. What a day, what a memory, as Coyle has to just turn the ball back to Pando, and he sends it high and long up towards halfway. Oscar got the challenge in, but it drops to a white shirt of Bristol City. There's a little breeze in the air, but it's there's a warm atmosphere, isn't there? The sun's not fully out. There's a lot of cloud cover, a bit of blue sky as Williams tries to get away from one tackle. Jones just steps in the D to come away with it, and then Jacob will play that one away. Oscar's going to make the little angled run again, but it's just about half a yard ahead of him, and he couldn't bring that one under control.
He couldn't, but if that had been Sinclair, he'd have got himself with a pace between him and the defender, and he'd have made something happen out of that pass, where Oscar didn't.
He went very direct to it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then once it skipped away, he'd lost the opportunity. And here come the visitors again as Liam Manning urges his players on. Tim Walter, bottle of water in hand, now arms folded, just stands stern looking. He can be stern, he can be quite an angry man at times when things don't go his way, but a very personable character as well. A lot of fans enjoying his interaction with me the other day, where I was asking him about who he could talk about, and he said maybe Finlay Burns with a wink. I think the Volta wink, or Volta Vink, has become something among City fans. Here's Knight, right-hand side. Bristol City ball swung in towards the penalty area. To that left-hand side to Pring. Pring just turns away from Amur and Coyle. And this is going to be floated towards the back of the penalty area. Jacob heads it away.
Good decision, that one.
Yeah, it was. And nice work from Giles, who can come forward and then just showed a bit too much to Williams. But City get the ball back again. Nice work from Simons. And Slater has some space. He's got Amur away to his right-hand side as we close in towards half-time. Nearly 45 minutes gone. Chance for City. Coyle dinks it into the area intended for Oscar. It's gone too far, and that one's going to bounce out and out for a goal kick as we...
That one a bad ball in though, Mike.
Minute added on time.
Coyle
it wasn't.
Put a great ball in there, and Oscar looked like he'd gone to make the run, then stopped.
Yeah. Like you said, he gestured that he was going to go.
I want it there. He's put it there, and he's not continued his run.
Yeah. So we're into a minute of added on time. Final few seconds of this one just to be played out, Swanee. What's your overriding feeling from this first 45 minutes?
They are being more entertaining. They are getting the ball forward quicker. It's too open for me, to be fair. The opportunities that Bristol City's created is probably as good as us. So, like I say, it could have been 2-2, 3-3 with opportunities, and I think it's going to be the same second half. And if it's going to be like this all season, it's whether they can pick themselves up if they go behind. That's the problem, because we are going to concede a boatload of goals playing like this against better teams.
Giles will concede a throw-in as that one's just kicked into him down near the corner flag, and that will allow Keith Stroud the opportunity to bring the first 45 minutes of the new season, the 2024-25 campaign in the Championship, reaches the halfway point for the Tigers, where it's Hull City 0, Bristol City 0. Swanee saying there that there have been chances for both sides. It's a really open game. There'll be questions defensively from a Tigers point of view. They haven't been punished so far, but chances for Slater with a shot. Jacob saw his shot saved as well, and Oscar, who could have done better from close range, but really played it into the direction and the path of the keeper to make a simple save, but a basic save for a goalkeeper. But there's been chances at the other end as well. Mehmeti has scuffed a shot. Sykes curling one just wide. That perhaps was, you would say, maybe their best opportunity in the game, because the space opened up for him. But at the break, we await our first goal of the new season here at the MKM Stadium. It is Hull City 0, Bristol City 0. Peter Swan.
Yeah, I think Tom Vaughn will be quite happy. I'd be happy with that 0-0 after seeing the team sheet, and like I say, well, like I said, it's like a League Cup team, that. So I was expecting more players coming in, which we haven't. So when I saw that team this afternoon, or morning, sorry it is, when I came in, and I thought, if we get to half-time 0-0, I think we'll be happy with that. Like I say, you can see the transformation as it is trying to get things, still playing out from the back, but looking for that longer ball quicker. So you can see that trying to happen and breaking teams down, but also leaving ourselves wide open. We should have conceded, simple as. But I say it's a great couple of saves we've had by Pandor, which a lot of people have been questioning him in pre-season. But what I've just seen there, and for the fans for the first time seeing him, will think, yeah, he was doing all right. So let's say, like we said at the start, let's judge him from what we're seeing in a proper game, which is today. But definitely tightening up at the back. But I like the way they go forward.
More from Swanee to come. 0-0 here at the break. Don't forget, on BBC Sounds, that full interview that I did before the game with Vice Chair for Hull City, Tang Kessler, where he talks about continued interest in Charlie Hughes. He's still convinced and confident that they can make that happen. And also he confirmed that Oscar Zambrano, the South American sensation he's been called, not too much known about it, but he's been bigged up because he's from South America, and everyone, there's been interest in him from some big clubs seemingly. He is at the ground today and watching his side, expected to be completed in the next couple of days. We'll talk more about all of that throughout the afternoon here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Half-time 0-0 here. We've got 2 more games to come with the new season getting underway for Grimsby Town and Scunthorpe United. Let's say a very good afternoon over in the northwest to the man who's taking over from the long-time voice of the Mariners, who will be our Grimsby Town commentator this season. Afternoon to Matt Dean.
Afternoon to you, Mike. Very excited to be getting the season underway in the sunshine here in Lancashire. I'm at Fleetwood then for the Mariners this afternoon. We'll be to Ollie, who'll be across Scunthorpe United at Brackley for our BBC Sounds and Digital match today. Grimsby here at Fleetwood on FM and Freeview channel 713. Let me just quickly give you the half-times from across the Championship before we look at our 2-3 o'clock games. Queen's Park Rangers 1, West Bromwich Albion 1 is a half-time, as is Stoke against Coventry 0-0, Cardiff 0, Sunderland 1, Hull City 0, Bristol City 0, as we were hearing from Mike and Swanee there. We'll be back with them soon. Leeds United 1, Portsmouth 2 is the latest, added time at the end of the first half. Middlesbrough 1, Swansea 0, Millwall 0, Watford 1, and Oxford lead Norwich by 1-0 at the interval on their return to the Championship. OK, let's focus then on our 2-3 o'clock games. The Mariners here at Highbury Stadium on FM and 713 on Freeview. Let's hear from the Mariners winger Charles Vernam now. He's in good spirits for it.
Feeling great. It's been a lot of work over pre-season. We've all been grafting, which is the case, but yeah, we're all optimistic and looking forward to the start of the new season.
What gives you that optimism?
I think you feel it every year. I think we felt it last year, and any club I've been at, there's always that excitement about the first game. I just think that it's a really exciting period as a footballer, and we've got some new players who will experience sort of our fan base and our club for the first time, which is going to be exciting for them because it's a real weapon of ours. So yeah, we're all optimistic, we're looking forward to it, and we're ready to go.
You had a pre-season injury. Can you tell us what happened there and how you're feeling now?
Yeah, so I just had a tweak on my calf. There was nothing major. I put in a lot of work over the off-season to try and get fit, maybe a tiny bit too much. So just felt that a little bit, but took maybe 10 days, 12 days, missed the first couple of games, but feel great now. I've had three solid weeks of work, 3 games, 3 sort of big chunks of minutes, which has been great. And I think we've spoken as a collective, myself, the gaffer, the medical staff, just to try and come up with a programme that works for me, whether that's having a second day recovery where I'm off feet, maybe just to make sure that I'm ready for the game. So yeah, I've been really well looked after in that aspect, and hopefully that can continue and I can stay fit this season.
We'll come on to that in a moment's time, but you do strike me, Charles, as somebody who puts a lot of pressure on himself to get fully fit. Is that the case?
Yeah, definitely. I know that I perform best when I'm fully fit. The best spells I've had have been when I'm sort of performing at my peak and I've been feeling good within myself, and I think that that's going to help me this season. I feel great, feel refreshed. Might even think that the first 2 weeks missing that sort of real big intense workload has possibly helped me, because I feel really fresh now. I feel great going into the season, and like I say, I put that pressure on myself to be the best I can, and going into the season, that's what I'm going to do.
How are the club helping you to try and avoid injuries now? Have the injuries that you've had in the past been avoidable?
I think that some have maybe been avoidable within myself, pushing myself, like you say, possibly playing when injured. I would say that last season, the big injury that I had, I was probably pushing myself whilst injured, which it comes down onto my shoulders. That's my responsibility. But we've spoken as a group. The gaffer's been great. He said that in order for me to perform at my best, if there's anything that I feel that I need in terms of an extra day's recovery where I'm potentially off feet, doing a bike instead of being on the grass, taking some of the strain out of my joints, then that's what's needed, because I'm no good to anyone when I'm sat on the treatment table. And I think that for me now, it's important that I repay sort of that faith that the club's shown in me after a disappointing year last year.
Yeah. How do you reflect on last season?
It was frustrating. I think everyone in the club would say the same. Disappointing, especially for me personally. But I think we showed towards the end of the season what we can produce. And I don't think that we did that so much with the ball. I think we produced without the ball and showed that we were going to sort of stand up and be counted, which is what it's going to take this year, combined with playing some football. So, of course, disappointing. No one wants to finish that end of the table, but we've worked extremely hard this pre-season, I think, and things are looking in the right direction.
What have you made of the evolution of the team in the last 12 months and maybe this summer as well?
I think it's looked really good. I think we've brought in some really good, technically good footballers. A couple more this week, which has been great to add to the numbers because we've potentially been a little bit light. But I think, like you say, it has definitely been an evolution from where we finished last season, where we were a bit more direct, a bit more hard to beat with the circumstances. So yeah, we're evolving, and I think you can see that with the performances. We probably had a bit of a wake-up call with the York game, the South Shields game, and then we sort of came back at Rotherham. I think that gave everyone a real lift, showing that actually we can perform and we can back up what we're doing on the training ground. So that's what pre-season's for. There's going to be lots of ups and downs throughout the season, but if we stick to what we're doing, if we stick to the game plan, then hopefully we'll have a successful season.
After that defeat up at South Shields, fans seem to be getting a bit anxious. Did you detect that?
Not particularly. I think if you lose games of football, there's always going to be frustration. That's amongst us as players, staff and the fans. So I think you can accept that people are going to be disappointed if we lose games, whether that's in pre-season or in the league. But I think it's important to remember sort of where we are as a group and where we were come that game. There was still a lot to work on. We still had three weeks to go until the season starts, but the sort of bounce back ability that we showed with the Tuesday night against Rotherham and the game against Mansfield, where we put in another good performance, I think it shows where we're at as a group, that we're learning and that we're evolving.
How ready are you as a group, do you think, for the start of the new season then?
I think we're ready to go. I think this week's been really positive. Everyone's been sort of buzzing around training, like I say, that optimism, that excitement about the new season. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. Of course, the proof's in the pudding.
Grimsby Town winger chatting with me in the build-up to this afternoon's opener here at Fleetwood. I just wonder whether he's going to start this afternoon. We'll find out when the team news comes in at 2 o'clock. The Mariners have made 8 new additions. I understand Matty Carson might not make it today. The Mariners players just coming out onto the pitch. Danny Rose leads them out onto a very lush-looking Highbury Stadium surface. A bit windy here in the northwest. We'll get you back to the MKM Stadium in a few moments' time for the second half. Hull City locked at 0-0 in their opening game with Bristol City. That's our commentary game early on this afternoon. 16 players out, 6 in, a new manager and coaching staff. A lot's changed at Scunthorpe United this summer, but one thing's remained constant. Michael Clunan will lead the Iron at Brackley Town this afternoon as his second season at the club as club captain begins. He's been reflecting on a big period of change with James Hogarth.
There's a few things different around the place. I think we're operating with quite a smaller squad than we did last year. You could say that maybe work in our favour with being a bit more tight knit. Training's very good. There's a few obviously tactical differences, which I don't want to give away just yet. It's so far so good.
Obviously a huge low at the end of last season with the defeat in the playoff semi-final to Boston. How much of that is a driving factor for you mentally and physically for this new season?
Yeah, it was a tough one to take last year. Obviously, it's a lot of hard work that goes across 46 games, and then to fall short in the playoffs was very disappointing and took a few weeks to get over. But we've dusted ourselves down, we've learned from it, and we've managed to keep the core of the squad from last year. So the aim is to go one better this year and hopefully win the league and get promoted. In terms of Andy Butler, how is he making that transition from teammate to boss? All the players had the utmost respect for the gaffer anyway. So then when he stepped up to be the gaffer, it's been a very smooth transition. He knows everyone. He knows everyone in the club. He knows what Scunthorpe's about. So it's been a very smooth transition, I would say. He's talked to us about effectively running through brick walls for Scunthorpe. He was the kind of player that literally gave 110% every game. Is that something that he's pushing you as players to do the same and replicate? Yeah, he's constantly reminding us of the hard work and dedication that he requires from us. And that's something that every player, every staff member has bought into, and you can see from day one of pre-season that will be the case, and hard work is going to be the bare minimum this year.
in terms of your responsibilities as captain, Michael, how is it changing amongst the group? Because you've got players amongst your group now that have given up full-time jobs to become full-time professional footballers. Does that mean greater responsibility for you?
For me, the responsibility is to keep the standards as high as possible within our dressing room. Being the second year as captain, that probably makes my job easier. I'm a lot more familiar with all the squad, albeit with a few new faces. But yeah, with the squad we've got, everyone has extremely high standards anyway, so it makes my job a lot easier. But it's just my job to make sure that they're kept throughout the whole season.
Michael Clunan chatting with us here at BBC Radio Humberside Sport in the build-up to Scunthorpe United at Brackley. Ollie Turner will have Steve Torpey alongside him for BBC Sounds and Digital Radio commentary on that one. Whilst here at Fleetwood, Gary Croft will join me in a little while. We'll chat at the conclusion of this afternoon's Hull City match. The Tigers 0-0 with Bristol City, and we'll get back into the commentary next.
Carla Green.
The Driffield show, and what a day it was. I got very excitable at points, I've got to say, especially when I won a pig. And I will say it wasn't a real pig. It was a massive toy pig, and I did take it home to my little girl last night, and she was equally excited. In fact, we were both squealing a little bit like piglets, and I found her last night asleep in bed when I went to check on her, and she had her giant Stitch toy, the character Stitch, on one side, and Binky, as she is named her pig, on the other. So yeah, she was really pleased as well. I had a lovely day.
Carla Green.
Weekday mornings from 10 on BBC Radio Humberside.
Every kick of every game.
The only place to follow your team live.
BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
More from Matt Dean to come. Ollie Turner as well down at Brackley, Matt at Fleetwood, as he was saying. We've got commentaries of those to come at 3 o'clock here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Fleetwood and Grimsby Town on FM and Freeview on digital, and of course we can put non-league games online. They'll be on BBC Sound. Scunthorpe United at Brackley. Here the substitutes still just going through their warm-ups at half-time, where it's Hull City 0, Bristol City 0. Should be getting the teams out any second ahead of second half commentary. Apart from the obvious defending better, what else do you want to see, Swanee?
Well, I'm just looking down the subs that players have not seen play, and then there's some names there that's familiar, but not seen many of them on the field of play. I think Miller will definitely get his chance, won't you?
You would think so, yeah.
Burns, not know much about. Obviously, Brandon Fleming, I'm thinking, is he still here? Because I liked what I saw with Brandon when he given opportunities. Andy Smith, like I say, you'd have thought he'd probably gone out on loan to get some game time. Will Jarvis, then you've got Sellers, Fleming, Stan Ashby, Big Ash's son. They say he had a couple of sub-appearances last year on the bench, like saying, and Nathan Tisdale. So you look at that, and not many people will know many of them players. And they'd like to, obviously, a couple of them you'd like to see on the field, see if they can contribute. But going back to what the manager's probably thought in that second half, he's happy it's probably 0-0. Can he do more going forward? I think they're doing well going forward. It's mainly tightening things up at the back, because we are going to create chances, but playing like we did there, you think it's a matter of time before they take one.
Well, Will Jarvis, who you mentioned there, he's just been recalled this week from his loan at Shelbourne, where he scored 9 goals in 30 appearances this season. Of course, their season runs during the calendar year, so they're still in the middle of that, but he has been recalled from it, which shows where City are at, doesn't it, as far as needing numbers and bodies in, that they've had to recall him from that loan, and he is amongst the substitutes. I'm trying to see, think we've got any changes, have we, looking around? No, nothing at half-time, not for Bristol City either, so we'll be back underway in just a second, and we'll see if City can make some of that possession and high intensity play pay off for them in the second half, but making sure that they don't provide an opportunity for the visitors either. It's goalless at the break in a opening day of the season where there's already been a few goals going in the Championship, and that ball's given away by Matty Jacob in his own half. And here comes Sinclair Armstrong, slips it to the right side to Sykes. Back inside to Williams. Bird showing for the ball, but Knight's going to try and dink it over the top towards that right side of the area. Too far, and away and out for a goal kick. Sloppy from the beginning, Swanee, not what you want.
Yeah, and I'm looking at midfield. Like, you're looking at there, Williams and Knight, the two they're sitting like midfield players. They're having more input than what R3 are. Simons, have you mentioned him?
Not much.
Not really, have you?
Not much, no. You want to see more from that midfield, don't you?
Yeah.
Between the three of them. Regan Slater's probably been the busiest of the three, hasn't he? He's been involved getting up into some high areas of the field. 21,011 is the attendance. And looking around, you could see quite a few empty seats, couldn't you? Not up towards the capacity of the stadium. I suppose you're talking holiday periods as well, but it is the opening game of the season. That usually brings people out, especially when the weather's decent enough, which it is. It's a balmy afternoon in West Hull. I wonder what it'll be like on the Devon coast next Saturday. We'll be there for BBC Radio Humberside Sport. The Tigers
we're setting off on Wednesday
for the first time. That one at the end of the season, we felt like we were away forever, didn't we?
And then when fixtures come out, I thought, no, what have we done to deserve this?
Swanee enjoyed that trip because we tried to pass the time in the journey down with our respective other halves, playing a bit of a music quiz. He didn't realise that my wife and I are
champions.
Well, you know, we like to think we're all right. And she is a singer, so you'd think she should be. Ball floated down that right side for the Tigers. It'll just roll away.
Is she an award winner? A bit like myself?
Not an award winner like
exactly.
yourself, no.
Let's talk no more. There's singers and then there's award winners.
She did coach Quillam Lloyd and me to a second place finish in the previous competition to the one you won.
What is the point of joining if you're going to come second?
It's not what they're saying in the Olympics. Silver medal still celebrated, Swanee.
I won't want a silver or a bronze. If I don't get gold, I won't be bothered going. That's the way I feel.
The ever competitive.
I don't want to lose.
The ever competitive Peter Swan alongside me, Mike White, on BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
You take a fourth and be happy.
Steady on.
Happy new season, Mike.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I can't tell you how much I've missed you. Good grief. Little Dickie Bird tells me when you got to Plymouth, by the way, and you were asked how the journey was, you said not nice things about us. That's all I'm saying, that you were frustrated at being beaten in the competition.
I was frustrated about being in the car with you and your missus for that length of time.
Yeah, she wasn't happy with you with some of the things you were saying either. We'll leave it there. Moving on. Alfie Jones tries to knock one into the path of Malem. She'll get her own back on you. Grandad Swan.
I feel like one.
Play the way by O'Leary, you look like one. Alfie Jones knocks a header down. Referee said foul.
I don't think we're much in that, do you?
I don't think Alfie Jones got stepped on.
It laid into, just like backed into him, didn't he? No arms, no pushing, just strength.
Just the one debutant as far as a full debut from the new signings for City. Marvin Malem in the midfield. Played his first game in that pre-season game against Reading last week.
When did Pandor make his?
That's a good question. It's 2. It's because I'm saying of the new. No, I'm saying of the new signings though. Panda came in January. Don't forget. That's my caveat for not quite explaining it properly. Thanks, Swanee. Here come Bristol City trying to break away left hand side with Mehmeti, edge of the penalty area. Shuffles a step and little drop of the shoulder, and then it's cleared away by City. Coyle
it's too easy though again,
with it. Yeah, it is too much space and too much time. Here's Amur. Medium length hair just bobbing as he steps inside, and then Slater.
See the frustration of the fans.
Could hear it.
Their arms like to say forward.
Yeah. Simons works it to this right side to Coyle, taps it into the path of Jones, who's going to turn it back again
blind
to the keeper Pandor, who is making his competitive debut, having signed in January, not amongst the new signings in the summer, just for clarity. But you are right, Swanee.
No problem.
Like to go for accuracy, don't we?
Yeah.
The other new signings are on the bench in Miller, Burns and Rachopi. There's no Cody Drame though. That's one we need to ask Tim Volter about afterwards. It was interesting because we thought we were going to be speaking to him on Thursday actually in the pre-match press, and that didn't end up happening.
Leeds have equalised 2-2.
2-2 in that one.
This could easily be 2-2.
Goals going in. Jones with a sloppy one, and Bristol City get it back. Ball played into Armstrong, edge of the area. Turns on his right foot inside the D. Was blocked off by Alfie Jones. Now over on that right side to Sykes. Plays it behind to George Tanner, former Manchester United youngster will get that ball back again, gives it to Williams, inside to Knight. Lots of City players around him. Good read by McLaughlin, but equal good read from Knight. Gets it back. Sykes right side, drags the ball in, into Mehmeti. Shot deflection, hits the crossbar, and it's a corner. And that was a chance, but it was Matty Jacob who threw himself in front of it on the edge of the 6-yard box and denied Mehmeti. And Bristol City have themselves a corner 6 minutes into the second half on BBC Radio Humberside.
Yes, they're always going to create chances, teams against us, aren't we? I think that's what we're looking at the moment. That's something definitely to tighten up there. Jacob threw himself in front of it, like I said, took a wicked deflection. And also, I was expecting the net to ripple there, to be fair. Like I said, went above Pandora, who just got back, bounced on top of the crossbar. Whether he reached it or not, I don't know, but he looked like it's a matter of time. Like I said, you can't keep giving chances away like this.
Corner taken, Williams curls one in. It's headed away by City, out for a throw-in on this left-hand side. 0-0 at the moment as the sun just seemingly peeks out from a cloud out of our sight. But the pitch just brightens up. It does look resplendent, that pitch, doesn't it? It's a lush surface.
See the footprints, can't you?
Yeah, certainly work and money has gone into improve the surface here, and it's had rugby league being played on it for a few months. Here's Pring on the left hand side, curls across in towards Armstrong, caught on the half volley to clear away by Jacob.
They've started brighter the second half, no doubt whatsoever.
Bristol City get it back again. Now down that right side, it's going to be Bird who just drifts into that position. He's been floating here, there and everywhere, hasn't he, Max?
He looks
Bird?
to play, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can see why City were targeting him under Liam Racine. Yeah, nice little flick there, but City can deal with it and play that one away. Panda up towards Oscar, who's about 10 yards shy of halfway as that one is headed off beyond him. Knight comes back to recover, goes back to O'Leary, and it's the first time Bristol City have had the ball around their penalty area, I think, in this half.
In this half, yeah. They just look comfortable, don't they?
Yeah.
Playing around us, look at that.
Yeah, they're just
play on.
Bit too much time, and Coyle was going to be penalised there, but play on. Pring will flick it into Armstrong. He slips as he comes into it. He goes down, and jeers from the City fans, I should say.
But look at the switched off. They've got the ball now. There's nobody within 20 yards, halfway line.
Taking the throw in quickly. City need to get their heads in the game. Coyle just steps in front of that one. That'll be out for a corner. Louis Cole disagrees with that. Thanks to Richard Beechell, who's got in touch with us from the Senior Tiger. Says, brilliant to have you and Swanee back while I'm bringing in the harvest, Mike. Richard, good to hear from you. Thank you for your message. And good to have your company. On BBC Radio Humberside Sport, FM, digital, Freeview. 2 more commentaries on the way at 3 o'clock with Grimsby Town and Scunthorpe United. We're through until 6 o'clock. We'll have reaction from this game. We'll try and bring you some before 3 o'clock. That'll be depending on when we get down and get access to Tim Volter. Certainly at half-time in the Grimsby and Scunny games, and also after 5, where I'll be back in the studio to bring you all the roundup from all the games. The referees coming across to have a look.
It's that corner. They do it all the time just to wind the referees and the teams up. There's nothing wrong with that.
The fans have carried on where they left off last season, making sure the referee comes to check. I mean, it's not even close, is it? It's clearly over the line. Referees in the end told off the Bristol City player, I think. Corner from the left side at the north stand. Some fans in the front of that, shielding their eyes from the sun. Curled in on the inside foot. It's going to drop at the back post. Knight with a volley, side netting.
He tried sneaking that in the near post, and I think if he'd been on target, I reckon it'd have gone in. I don't think the keeper expected that to get a shot there, because it was coming down. It was an hard technique. He was caught on the half volley and side-footed it. Tried sneaking it in the near post.
City playing it out deep in their own penalty area again. One thing that chance there for
too much of a gamble doing that there.
Yeah, ball played down the line. Giles dispossessed and they've lost it again. Bristol City playing with that high press, getting right in the faces, aren't they? And here's a chance on the left foot. Bird into Mehmeti again. His swing and a miss. Armstrong might get there. Panda drops down in front of him. Good work from the City keeper to pounce on that one. But again, City living dangerously. They cannot continue like this, Peter Swan.
Not at all. Pandora again, and brilliant. Great closing down, brave. Went down to the lad's feet. Took a clatter of it, but like saying that's brave goalkeeping. But it's a matter of time, isn't it? You can just feel it's coming.
Yeah, you do. You feel there's a goal not far away.
We're just sitting further back. We're giving the ball away more. They're getting more confident. So like I said, the amount of times they've played it into someone like a 6-yard box and they've took the touch where they need to be in it first time. Don't know how they think they've got that much time in there, Bristol players.
Knight for the visitors on the left-hand side into Mehmeti. Fed through to Pring, and that one's fired downfield by Jones. Oscar will try and get there. Oscar, he's just not got himself in the game much at all, has he?
Not at all.
He had that
He
shot.
had that chance.
Yeah. It's just feels a little bit disjointed at the moment, doesn't it?
Did we expect this? Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's good football by Bristol,
and it's good work. And Jacob's been beaten. There's some space in and around the back. Sykes will play it across the 6-yard box. Parried away by Panda. Danger still not clear yet. Brink knocks the header down for Bird, and he scooped that one into the north stand. A goal kick. Again, jeers from the Bristol City, the Hull City fans. I'll get there in the end. Jeers from the City fans, and rightly so for that one. But that could have been troublesome. 0-0 still. How?
The manager's going to have a field day if they don't get anything out of this game, Bristol, when he sits back on Sunday or Monday morning and goes through the chances they've created. As it looks like we're going to make his first substitution.
And it is going to be the latest edition of the 6 new signings this summer. But not before the Tigers have to deal with another attack from Bristol City. Mehmeti, left side of the area, cuts in on his right foot, curling shot, and I think that took a deflection from Coyle to just curl that one round the outside of the post. Panda was at full stretch, and it's a corner to the visitors.
Another chance. Can't get out of us half, can we? They're creating good chances there. That was one from... You don't expect that one to... You expect one to be saved. But I say it took the deflection early. I think the keeper have had it covered anyway.
Mehmeti's a threat, isn't he? And here he is now, ball played to him off the corner, trying to line it up on his left foot. Closed down by Malem. Ball driven into the City penalty area. Coyle not convincing with the clearance as he stumbles to the ground, but City able to get that one away, and there's Amir. And ball stays in, says the official over on the far side. There's going to be a double change, in fact, for City. The first change is going to see Ryan Giles coming off. He throws his hand down in frustration. He'll have to go off on the far side of the ground. And he's going to be replaced by new signing Liam Miller, 24-year-old Toronto-born Canadian international. Moved to England to join Fulham when he was 13. He joined Liverpool's academy. He signed from FC Basel, where he made 96 appearances and scored 13 goals in 3 seasons for them. And had a loan spell at Preston last season, 5 goals in 36 appearances. So he comes on for Giles. And the other change is going to see Regan Slater go off. And he's going to be replaced by, I mentioned him earlier, recalled from his loan at Shelbourne, 21-year-old youth, come through the youth system, Will Jarvis. 2 changes for the Tigers. Peter Swan.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they fit in here. It looks like Jarvis come out on this right-hand side. And like for like in the middle there, Liam Miller. See what impact he can have.
Yeah, Jarvis, like you said. Miller over on that left side, a straight swap with Giles.
I'm surprised about Giles, because Giles probably was the most influential player in that first half.
Yeah.
Biggest threat going forward. Playing high up the field than he normally does as a fullback.
And there's Miller's first touch. He's got the blonde highlights in his hair, number 7 on his back. Looks like either a white bandage on his right wrist or a big wristband, as that one's played back to Alfie Jones. Panda's out of his area. Plays it. Never looks comfortable there,
does he? He gets it there somehow, but it doesn't look comfortable.
Oh, and that's nice work from Simons. He's picked out Miller with a lovely curling pass with some distance over to that left side. Angle of the area. Cuts inside, does Miller. Challenge just takes it away from him as foot from Sykes pokes it out for a City throwing away on that left-hand side. Just the introduction of Miller seems to have lifted the fans' expectation, doesn't it?
That's for a minute. Let's try and keep it going. Oxford 2-0 up at home to Norwich.
What a start for them. Sheffield United winning last night. Blackburn Rovers getting off to a winning start as well. Can City find something as we hit the hour mark here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport on the opening day of the season? Hull City 0, Bristol City 0. Tigers have won just one of the last 8 home league games last season. Drew 5 and lost 2. They beat QPR 3-0 in April. But the home form was a problem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
or the home performances in particular, was a problem. Attacking wise, they've tried. It's not quite fluid yet, is it?
No, not yet.
But you can see there's an intent there. It needs some fine-tuning, maybe a little bit more than fine-tuning. That's going to be a City throw-in, just in front of Volta, who scoops the ball up himself. He wants that back in play quickly, pointing out where he wants people. Just shows Malem to get in just in front of one of the defenders. The ball's back with Jones, now back to Panda again. The Tigers fans in the North Stand trying to get the atmosphere building once more. A crowd of 21,011, as I mentioned earlier. There's Jones, 15 yards outside his area. Simons comes short for him and has some space to push up towards halfway. Slides it to Coyle on that right side, then shuffles it back inside to Simons. Away to McLaughlin. He's got some space to move and will be encouraged to step into it, and he does. Miller looking to make a move. Then pirouettes back, does McLaughlin. Gives it to Simons once more. Expansive ball on the ground to Will Jarvis. Nice footwork. Step away from one. Poked through into the area. Jarvis goes down. That'll be a free kick, and it'll be a booking for Knight as well.
Yeah, it's in a great position as well. Good for a left footer. Get it whipped round that down the wall. 4 or 5 yards outside the box at an angle. Good direct run by Jarvis, wasn't it?
It was.
Showed great feet. Saw where the space was, attacked the space, just nicked it away from the defender who comes sliding in, and gives the young lad a chance. Old Irma. Is that what we're saying now? Irma. Like Irma.
That's the one.
Broke my heart and breathe. Oh, that one.
You're not playing for any prizes or competitions or gold medals now. You're not singing for that. Don't worry. Right, what can City do with this?
He's got to have a shot on goal. It's perfect position for a shot.
22 yards out, right of the D. Amur is over it. Malem's in there as well, but you'd fancy the left footer to curl it in towards this near post perhaps. Simons just drifts into his own bit of space away to Amur's right.
Why they've got two all over the ball here, just in case they haven't got the wall in the right place.
Yeah. And then shift it, but you'd fancy Amur. The 4-player wall for Bristol City. You've got the doorstop behind, the little draft excluder, but who will fancy it? It's going to be Amur. Left-footed, hits the wall does its job, comes back to Amur, curls one in, and it's basically just a pass back to the keeper. 0-0.
Exactly, pass back to the keeper, nothing on it. No aggression was it in the shot. It was like he was stood standing there and just to whip the ball in. He might as well just try to lift it in the air and hoping someone can come and attack it.
Continuing the frustration for City, and that will add to it as well with Louis Coyle giving away a free kick at halfway. We're going to see a change for Bristol City.
He looks a big lad.
Yeah, one of their new signings, the 22-year-old Frenchman Fally Mayulu. A long youth. Fally Mayulu.
He looks a unit as well.
He does.
Unit for a unit here.
Coming on for Armstrong. Don't know much about Mayulu. We knew what Armstrong was offering. It was the strength, it was the pace, maybe not clinical, but on 64 minutes Liam Manning's made his first change. Signed from Rapid Vienna this summer. He scored 11 goals in 35 games for the Austrian club last season. And Williams just looking for an option on this free kick. He plays it behind to Dickey. Now Viner across. Long ball forward.
Offside.
There is Mayulu. First involvement in the game is a flag up for offside. They won only 2, Bristol City, of their last 10 away games from the turn of the year. They beat Borough on the 10th of February, beat Plymouth on the 1st of April. So they weren't exactly great on the road either. One of City's targets, Tommy Conway, not involved at all, doesn't want to stay at the club, so he's training by himself, not involved in first team activities at all. Liam Manning said it's all amicable, but he wants players who want to be there. Looks like he might be ending up at Middlesbrough, it would seem, but City, Tan Kessler saying earlier, haven't given up complete hope yet. Still want to get Charlie Hughes in, the defender. They need more, they need goal scorers as well. One's not enough. Ball in from Mehmeti, and Jacob with a diving header. And he's almost sent that towards his own goal. That was a risky one, but in the end it was effective. He's headed it wide and out for a corner kick, but the ball was floated in again. It was Mehmeti causing the problems, and Jacob's header goes out for a corner. Swanee.
And as it bounced, your commentary, I could tell how you slowed things down, because you're thinking, where's that going to finish?
Yeah.
And it was close, wasn't it? Diving header. Did well in the end. It might have been a lot further away than what it looked from up here, but the direction he got it in, you're thinking that could have been in the top corner here.
You could hear the moment, couldn't you, where there was all of a sudden you knew there was a danger.
But they've got to be careful. Corner
from the left side. Yeah, corner from that left side. Headed away by Oscar. Out as far as a Bristol City player. It's volleyed back in towards the 6-yard box and wide and out for a goal kick. We're nearly at the 3/4 point of the game. Still without a goal. Do you still see it staying that way, Swan? No, I don't. I'm not sure I do. Don't forget, you can talk to us after the game. Give us a call, 08000 66 5959. All the post-match reaction to come from our respective games. City with this early kick-off. Scunthorpe United and Grimsby Town on the way at 3. The football is back, and it's good to have you with us for the ride. Every game live this season as we bring you closer to your club here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Throw into Bristol City, away on that far right-hand side, midway inside the Tigers' half. The sun just gets that little bit brighter, that little bit stronger, and a little bit warmer as we head into the early afternoon stages. Dickey drives one low to this near left side to Cameron Pring.
A lot of different time kickoffs this season at the mic.
Yeah.
I think the first home game at a 3 o'clock kickoff's on the 28th of September.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
No, I'm telling you.
No, I know
I'm not asking you to question
You're
me.
telling me it is.
Yes.
I was just giving you affirmation.
Yeah, but it was as if you were questioning me in your mind when I'm telling you. You don't have to.
I was processing the fact you'd said home game in there because I was thinking Plymouth next week, but you're right, home game.
Thank you.
No problem, you're welcome.
It's my birthday as well, if anybody wants to do anything with a spare cash. My granddad now. Braces and things.
There you go. You've got things to do, haven't you? Yeah, commitments, obligations.
Walking sticks.
Seen you come up those stairs. I think that's a lost cause. Here's Bird for Bristol City. He's been one of the busy players for them, hasn't he? As Miller just nips into a gap of surrounded by 3 Bristol players, but comes away with the ball.
Come on,
and then
boys.
Simon's just dallied with that a little bit, but then lays it off to Jones, tries to play it away to the right side. Tim Volter wants Jarvis to chase after it.
Yeah, his first thought there was, it's a bad ball. No, your first thought is, can I make it into a good ball?
Yeah.
And that's what the manager's trying to say. Don't give up on it.
Chase it down.
Chase it down.
Yeah. City win the ball back in Bristol's half. Here's Miller. Miller's going to try and take on his man. Steps inside. Chance for Miller. Miller with a shot. It's blocked. Can they get a second ball? Jacob just can't get there. It's played away up to
Good
Miali.
direct play by Miller there. His first thought, can I attack the defender in front of me, which I love to see. Get one-on-one, have a go at him.
Yeah, without too much of a trick and a...
Yeah, didn't have to do much, did he?
Step.
He nearly got a shot away there. He got a block on it, which is good.
You could see the defender was hesitant as well, couldn't you?
Well, you are if someone's running at you. If you put your foot out there in positions, you don't know where sometimes you are on the field. It could be a penalty.
And Louis Collar's done really well because he spotted Miller in space again, away on that left-hand side. Just rolls a boot over it, then cuts in on his right foot. Cross ball in towards Oscar. That was close. Just yards out in the 6-yard box. A really big opportunity as we hit 69 minutes here at the MKM Stadium. That was a chance. Hull City 0, Bristol City 0.
Should have had a second. Should be 2-0 up. Oscar's 2 great opportunities. Miller again. This time, what you've just said, didn't have to do much of a trick there. Took the ball down the left-hand side, dragged it back in, got his head up, just whipped it into a great area. Oscar believes they're going to miss it. He's sliding in and scoring again there. But yeah, fantastic play. And again, direct thought. What's first thing can I do? Can I get a shot away? If not, can I get a good cross in? If not, can I get one-on-one with my defender and take him on? And he's done all of them since he's been on.
Cross ball in from the left-hand side by Mehmeti. That's an easy one for Pando. It was something that was all too lacking last season, wasn't it? That ability to just try and get an early ball in, a dangerous ball. Here comes City again, though. Maybe tails lifted a little bit. Amir into Jarvis. just didn't quite have the awareness around him. Maybe needed a shout as well, but needed to know that there were a couple of Bristol City players around him waiting to take it off him, and that's exactly what happened. And Mehmeti dinks it forward up towards Mayulu, but he didn't quite have the awareness either, just to know that it was over his shoulder.
It could go either way, this, couldn't it, now?
Yeah,
We've got ourselves back in this.
Final 20 minutes. The City fans buoyed by what they're seeing, perhaps. Here's Miller inside to Malem, plays it behind to Jacob, comes back to the German midfielder again, who played with Tim Walter when he was started out. Marvin Malem at Karlsruhe, signed from Darmstadt in Bundesliga 2. Flicked down the right side by Jarvis. Here's Ömer into Jarvis. Jarvis in the area, drags it back on his left foot. Chance, Malem, it's over. He's got to hit the target there. 19 minutes left in the game, a chance for City to at least test the keeper, and Malem hasn't done it, and it's a goal kick, 0-0. Peter Swan.
Yes, like I say, we've got ourselves back in the game, haven't we? That's important. Like I say, good run on this side when he just like drifted in there, didn't he? And you're thinking, what's he going to do when he get there, Jarvis? Rather than trying to whip it round, he saw someone in a better position, and he expected the lad just get Malem just to get something more on it. Like I say, line getting underneath it. It was always leaning away, so it was always going to go over the crossbar.
Couple of changes here while they're happening before the ball gets back in play. Let's get the team news first at Fleetwood. Grimsby Town from Matt Dean.
5 debuts, Mike, on the opening day for the Mariners. Van Thorsen, McEachran, McJanet, Cass and Wright all start today. Davis and Barrington are amongst the substitutes, as is Danny Rose, last season's top scorer. Not quite fit enough to start this one. No Matty Carson. He's injured this afternoon. Town with Wright in goal, back four of Cass, Rogers, McJanet and Hume. Curry sitting in front of the defence with Van Thorsen, McEachran, Green and Vernon across the midfield, and Wilson will lead the line of attack this afternoon. Commentary to come on FM and Freeview 713.
We'll get Scunnies in a second, but Bristol City trying to build an attack again. Ball in from the right-hand side. Coyle throws himself into the danger area to head that one away. And then it's played back to Coyle. Dinks it forward for Ömer, but it's beyond him. Had to stretch and still couldn't get near it. The changes for Bristol City, by the way, saw Bell come on, Sam Bell and Naki Wells for Sykes and Bird. Hey, Bristol City, left-footed shot. That one scuffed wide, goal kick. Let's get down to Brackley. The Scunthorpe United team news from Ollie Turner.
Just the one league debut for Scunthorpe United this afternoon is Brad Nicholson, who makes his iron debut here at Brackley Town. In terms of changes, 3 from the club's final pre-season friendly, that 3-0 defeat at home to League 2 outfit Chesterfield just over a week ago. Alfie Beeston, Tyler Denton and Callum Roberts come in. Will Evans, Joe Rowley dropped to the substitutes bench. Carlton Ubazunu is out. I'm told he's suspended due to receiving a red card after the final whistle in Chorley's play.
Here's a chance for City. Jarvis in the area. Jarvis with a shot. We had to break away from that. Apologies to Ollie Turner, but City with a real opportunity there again. They had a 3-on-2. The ball slipped into Jarvis in the inside right of the penalty area, and they weren't able to make it count. It was a shot that was just too tame and straight into the keeper. Get him off is a shout from a Hull City fan just around us, just minutes after he's been on the pitch. Swanee.
Yeah, I thought when he gets in there, Jarvis, if he's committed, I think it was in between crossing, shooting, and it was like get your laces through it and strike it across the goal. If the keeper parries it out, you've got a chance of a tap in there, but he didn't put much on it, and he ended up playing the ball straight at the keeper there, which if he believed in himself a bit more there, it was a great opportunity.
We'll get that full team news for Grimsby Town and Scunthorpe United in particular at the end of this game, but good work from Alfie Jones there in his own half to just get away from Sam Bell. Ball played down the right side, that's not going to reach Jarvis. And it's O'Leary, the keeper, who can launch it long. Simon's underneath it, his header goes backwards, Coyle heads forward. Alfie Jones just trying to shield that one away. Mayulu's forced him off the ball a little bit too easily. Naki Wells, who's on, knocks it back to Knight. Cross ball, and Matty Jacob he's headed it back there to Pando, who's done really well to keep that in and stop it going out for a goal kick. 15 minutes left, Swanee.
Great body shape there, wasn't it, when the ball came in? You're looking at Matthew Jacob there. He had to bend everything to get nothing on it. He just want no power on it, just to drop it into the path for Pandor to come and take it, which he eventually did. I'm still standing by there's going to be a goal in it. Even though there's been the quality in front of goals not being the best.
No, but it's the openness of the game, isn't it? When you see a game like that, you know there's going to be something that's going to fall to someone. Let's just hope it's from a City point of view, but I'm just fearful. Coyle getting manhandled there by Miulu, certainly putting his weight around the 22-year-old Frenchman. French young man. We're all young compared to us these days, Swanee.
Yeah.
As Pring will send one long for Miulu to try and chase after. This is going to bounce awkwardly. Jones needs to deal with it and does eventually. Much as he was just getting pulled a little bit. Coyle is fouled. That'll be a free kick. And we've got 14 minutes left plus stoppages. 0-0 here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. Pat on the back for the linesman down in front of Tim Volter there. He'll be happy that he was given the decision his way. Seen some messages coming in on social media. Thanks to people who are getting in touch at Mike White Sport. Just questioning why Ryan Giles wasn't dropped back to left back, given there's been some struggles down there. They're saying they paid a lot of money for a left back. To be fair, it was always a question about the defensive side of Ryan Giles, wasn't it? But
I thought he's done really well today, first half, probably one of the best players.
The voice of former City player Peter Swan. Helga disagrees with you. The work rate of Giles was extremely poor. 2 half-decent crosses was all he had. That's in response to other people, to be fair, not a quick response to you. It's not that quick on social media. Giving away now a chance for Bristol City. They've got a 2-on-1. Jones trying to cover both. Naki Wells is there, steps inside. He's messed around with it a little bit, and that might have just been the reprieve City needed. It is, because Malem comes to recover, and he's able to play that one away up towards Miller, who comes to collect it, and then he's fouled. Free kick. City are living on the edge of their last nerve right now. The fans are certainly feeling that way. And it's 0-0, but how, Swanee, how?
I know, I'm just looking there. There's 4 of the old players bent over on the knees, absolutely out of it. With 13 minutes to go. He was down to Naki Wells there, and he gets through. I'm not going to put it as bad attacking play. I'll put it as great defending by Alfie Jones, who did everything right. He'd waited for the right time to put a foot in. If he'd have dived in early, that's what he wanted, did Wells, for him to make a decision so he could go one way or the other.
Jones didn't commit, did he?
No, he didn't commit. It's the last possible chance, and like I say, got his defender around him, knew that it was safe to get us challenging. Great defending. But that's what we expect from Jones, because I thought he was outstanding last year as well.
Yeah, he was superb. He, like I said, he only missed that one game. He played the most out of all the City players, over 4,000 minutes of football last season. Jacob Greaves got all the plaudits, and deservedly so, didn't he? He was superb, and he's got his Premier League move. But Alfie Jones, I think, sometimes went under the radar, didn't he, as far as the credit for the improvements and the step on that
he's helped him out along the way, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I think Jacob Greaves knows that as well. He'll know that
definitely. Here's City inside the Bristol half, right hand side. Jarvis inside to Coyle. Coyle to Simons, back to Coyle again, cross ball in towards Oscar, it's headed away. Miller will be the first to it, 25 yards out, near the left hand angle of the penalty area. Rides a challenge, and he's fired a shot high and wide, and it's a goal kick with 11 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Swanee thinks there's still going to be a goal in this. I'm probably inclined to agree with him, but the clock is ticking. I thought there'd be
more than one, though, if you'd have stopped the clock or stopped the game every time there's an opportunity, and then played it all after the game without probably 10, 12 great opportunities, you'd have said, yeah, there's bound to be a goal in that.
Yeah. But what happened next?
Yeah. You wouldn't have thought it'd end up 0-0.
No, you wouldn't.
The players are tiring, so more mistakes are going to be made in this last 10 minutes.
Tyrell Sellers-Fleming just goes warming up.
Chance here for
a couple of other players. Maybe Miller can try and get on the end of this, but Viner just gets there before him. Plays it away to under the leaping Miller, who thought it was going to be a high clearance. Didn't manage to block it, and Bristol have it with Knight, who gets away from the challenge of Malem and then gives it into Bell. Played first time away to this left-hand side, comes off the shoulder of Mayulu. Pring plays it into the area. Bell with a shot, and it's over. Panda had closed the angle. Coyle was covering, but Bell fancied it, and with 10 minutes remaining, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, wrong decision by Sam Bell there, wasn't it? So Coyley did everything right. He got himself there back into that position where he had to lift the ball up because it was going to slide in for the challenge. And Pandora got himself in a position there where he wasn't going to get chipped, was he? He was in a good position. And had the angles and everything there for him.
I was giving the substitutions when we got that Grimsby Town team news. Should have mentioned, of course, the fact Sam Bell, who was coming on, had a loan spell with the Mariners back in the end of 2021 into 22. The ball played forward up towards Simon's right side. He's going to play an early ball in beyond Oscar. Drops to Miller. Miller with a chance. Side foots it into Oscar. Trying to get the ball out from under his feet. Can't manage it. And it's deflected off Malin and loops into the hands of the keeper. Couldn't get the ball out from under his feet, Oscar, there.
Another opportunity. I wanted Miller there to step in.
Did you? Yeah.
Great ball. I think Miller's thinking that himself now as he's walking back, keeps looking up to the sky. I think if he'd have come in 2 more yards, opened the space for him, he could have either put it either side of the keeper, whipped with pace. Which he just tried that, probably just before shot has probably put him off that because it went high and mighty over the crossbar, and probably a couple of players might have had a go at him for it, but that was an opportunity to do it.
There's Bristol City again. Mehmeti dangerous at the edge of the D, blocked by Jones, runs away to Naki Wells. Mehmeti though on the first time ball down that right hand side, it comes off the back of McLaughlin out for a corner. The visitors trying to push again to find a winner in this one. You feel there is still a winning goal in this right now. It's not petering out by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not at all, is it? Taking the time they're going to take it, like they're walking over. So it must be hot in that sun down there. We're sitting up in here in the shade and it's warm, so imagine what it's like down there.
Yeah, it's got
first
that
game
sort
of the
balmy
season.
feel about it.
The normal first games of the season are normal red anyway. It's known for it.
Yeah.
And that's not changed. It's not let us down. It's nice when you're sitting up here rather than playing in it.
Obviously a lot better. Unlike last season at Norwich where it was absolutely bucketing it down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Corner for Bristol City on that right-hand side. Right foot out swinger. Panda comes flying out, palms it away, drops to Tanner. Away to the right side. Cross is going to come back in into a dangerous spot, and the header goes wide from Knight. And danger goes by once more. City have got a player down. Is that
I think it's Merlin, is it? Merlin more silent.
The 8 looks to be more to the right. Simons.
Yeah,
it's not the blue boots, it is Simons. Or lilac boots. Yeah, there's Merlin up there, over on the far side. Not got him involved enough, has he?
No.
Not the only one.
No.
What's Tim Volter thinking with 7 minutes to go, Swanee, when you look at the bench?
I think he'd take a point.
Yeah.
Obviously, they all want the 3 points, but I said the way the game's gone and the opportunities, especially second half, they've come out firing. I said we've got ourselves back into the game, created a couple of half chances, mistake being made there.
Jacobs with a slice clearance, and there's
go.
Bristol City are going to steal it. 6.5 minutes from time. Matty Jacob went to clear the ball. He sliced it. It's fallen to the feet of a Bristol City player. Jacob stays down holding his face, but I think that's more out of frustration than anything else. And we said there was a goal coming, and it has come. And it's Bristol City who struck. The Tigers have had their chances, but they've been too open at the back, and a mistake has cost them. And Tim Volter, on his first game in charge of the club here at the MKM Stadium on the opening day of the season, could well be seeing defeat. Hull City 0, Bristol City 1.
I'd say out of all the chances, that was probably the hardest one. There's a quality finish by the lad that's just come on, like I say, on the turn. Yeah. Jacob, like I say, sliced it and it fell straight for him there. One touch on the half turn, caught it straight across Pandora. I don't think much you could do about it. But yeah, probably the hardest chance it's been in the game, and he's took it. But he did feel there was going to be a goal in it. There's been that many chances for it not to be, and don't think it's finished yet either. There's still another 6 minutes plus injury time. If they sit back now, it gives you a chance to get back in it. But it's gone with the flow of the game, to be fair. They've created more chances. They look more brighter.
Yeah, they have. Certainly in that second half, you look at how many opportunities and chances Mehmeti's had. He's been a real threat and a danger. He had that 2-on-1 where Alfie Jones did well to not commit himself, and
they had the deflection.
Wells off, yeah, the deflected one as well that went wide. But this time, the mistake, it was a swing and a miss almost, but he sliced it, didn't he, Jacob? And it just fell to Mayulu. who was able to slide it past. I think City almost looked around, didn't they? They were waiting for the referee to blow or the flag to go up for something. Because Jacob went down. He held his face initially, and I wondered if he took a bit of a whack, but certainly not enough to lead to the mistake. And I wonder if that's what City were waiting for, but in the meantime...
14 attempts on goal for them, 8 from us.
Yeah, they've been the more threatening, haven't they?
They've had 8 corners to our 1.
City had the best chance in the first half with Oscar.
That was a great chance, the best chance at game.
Yeah. Best chance of the game, not just the first half, but certainly in that first half. And unfortunately, the 14 that Bristol City have had eventually, one has paid off for them, as we're going to see a change. Matty Jacob is going to come off now to be replaced by young Tyrell Sellers-Fleming for his 5th appearance in a City shirt. Jacob goes off. Did Tim Volter greet him there?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I was just looking down at the time. Not saying he wouldn't have done.
No, I know what you're thinking.
The angle I saw him walking. So Sellers-Fleming comes on. He'll go up top alongside Oscar as Bristol City try and whip a ball back into the area. They've all of a sudden, they're getting numbers forward again, aren't they? They fancy going in for the kill and putting this
they're
one
not sitting back, are they?
No. We've spoke positively about Matty Jacob, haven't we? And was impressed with him last season. He's found it tough going today, hasn't he?
He has this season, so I believe in pre-season. It's been hard work for the lad.
It's been difficult. As here comes City. There's McLaughlin, almost an inside left at the moment for an old school football position. Ask your granddads about that. Swanee is one of those now. Miller gets round the outside of the defender, or the player trying to defend, Mehmeti, and drags Miller to the ground. That'll be a free kick. And it's going to be 20 yards out, about 10 yards in from that left touchline. Needs a good quality ball in, doesn't it? Try and get Oscar or Sellers-Fleming's no slouch in the height department. Jones, McLaughlin. We've spoken before, haven't we, about the defenders just not giving you enough in terms of a goal return.
Yeah.
And a threat at set pieces. This needs to be one of those. Amers there with the left foot. Miller might fancy it on the right foot. In front of the east stand over on that far side. As myself and Swanee look at it, high above at the west stand upper. City trailing by a goal to nil in the closing stages of this game. Miller, little stutter step, hangs the ball up towards the back, and the little stutter step delivers nothing as far as end product. And that one's out for a goal kick. And some City fans have seen and had enough on the opening day of the season. A mass exodus starts to take place around with 2 minutes left of normal time. We've seen before. It just takes a second, Swanee, but some of these fans think that it ain't going to be this afternoon. Do you?
I'm still not sure. Maybe another goal in it. We've waited long enough to get his first goal, 80-odd minutes. They've got another substitution to come on. Cal Naismith.
Ball played out by the keeper, out for a throw-in. Yeah, there's going to be a change. Cal Naismith coming on for Mehmeti. City will be glad to see the back of him for the last couple of minutes, won't they?
Yeah, he's been involved all the game, hasn't he?
Yeah.
All the game. He hasn't drifted in and out of it. He's had contact with his front men, his midfield players alongside him. His defenders played a good part.
It tells you what's in Liam Manning's mind, though, doesn't it? Bringing on another defender. An experienced one at that in Cal Naismith, Scottish centre-half, former Rangers youngster, signed from Luton a couple of years ago. Hasn't played since November due to injury, but he'll be glad to get out there, albeit just for a minute or so. Here's Sellers-Fleming, right side, off that throw-in, towards the byline. Sends a cross in towards Miller, knocks a header down. Chance for Malem, maybe. Malem's taken out, and the referee says penalty. Malem was clattered by the defender trying to cover, and with 30 seconds left of normal time, Hull City have a big chance to get something from this game. There's questions being asked to referee Keith Stroud, who a year ago was part of controversy that saw City lose at Norwich. This afternoon, he's just made a decision that could see the Tigers, after all, get something from the opening game of the season. Swanee, what do you think?
I didn't think it was. I just thought it were two players going for the ball. I didn't think, like I say, we are about 50, 60 yards away, but I just saw two committed players going for the ball. But we'll take it. Like I say, it's a long season. You'll get things going for you against you. Oscar's put the ball on the spot. Let's hope he can stick it in and try and get back in. There's 4 minutes after this still to get back in it.
Almost a year to the day since he scored his last Hull City goal. The Colombian, Oscar, recalled from his loan in Brazil. And is this his moment to salvage something for the Tigers on the opening day? He's a yard inside the area, left-footed. The keeper moves. Oscar puts it in the bottom corner, and City are all square in stoppage time. Bristol City might not feel they deserve to be on the end of that one. The decision may be questionable for the foul on Malem, but a penalty it was. And Oscar, his 15th goal in a Hull City shirt, his first in a year, and has that got him rolling? Does that get Hull City started? It does this afternoon. It may not be victory for Volta on the opening day of the season, but it could well be an important point to get them started in the 24-25 season. Hull City 1, Bristol City 1, and it's Oscar Estepinian with a penalty.
It don't matter how they come, Mike, does it? As a striker, you just want to get off and up and running. He's got himself up and running from the penalty spot. Great strike, good penalty, whether it was penalty or not. We'll take it. We'll get things going against us, like I said, in the season. So, like I said, it's 4 minutes. I did say there might be another goal in, and it's still not over yet, to be fair.
It's not, so they could still be.
Why have they left it to the last 4 or 5 minutes for the goals to start appearing in? But, like I say, if we get the third, who cares?
Yeah, we'll take it. 2 minutes nearly into stoppage time. The 4 minutes added on time. And it was a cool penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah, great penalty.
Curling away from the keeper, right into the bottom corner.
Left-footed, bottom keeper's right and left-hand side. Never getting that.
A lot of fans and a lot of people who watch football get nervous with left-footed penalty takers, don't they? But given away there. City will get it back at halfway with Jarvis. Steps inside one challenge, then another, and then he's dispossessed. Goes down a little bit too soft, perhaps, but that ball's given away and out for a throw-in by the visitors. Minute and a half left, and now the fans urging him on. And those fans who left early, I wonder how far out of the stadium they got when they heard the cheers of the penalty. Just goes to show, you just never know.
You never know in football, do you?
That attempt to get on the early bus or to get out of the car park may have just seen you miss
Come
a
to vital
goal.
Stay to the end.
Early kickoffs, there's no rush to get to the pub, is there?
Yeah.
Well, there's always a rush to get to the pub, yeah.
Stop being silly, Michael.
OK. You're not singing anymore, seeing the fans around us in the West Stand upper, the North Stand in full voice there. We're going to see the brief debut of Finley Burns in a second. He's going to come on to replace Marvin Malem, who looks out of it, doesn't he? He looks out on his feet.
He had cramp, hasn't he? He's been stretching off for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. So one new signing for another. Malem, who made his full debut. Finley Burns, on loan from Manchester City. 21 years of age. Had a loan spell at Stevenage where he played 43 times last year. He's taken another step up the divisions. And he's got about 30 seconds left of involvement as that ball's played into the area off the free kick. Pando will just drop on it. Alfie Jones is helped to his feet by Mayulu. Surely that's it now. Final 10 seconds. Pando will just take his time. He's been urged to play it up the field, I think.
He's playing for time, Pando.
He is, but there might be a few more seconds added on, because by the time that penalty was taken, we were into stoppage time, weren't we? So as McLaughlin sends one high up towards the Bristol City penalty area. It's headed away. Foot in there from Simons. The visitors get it back. Pando has to come out of his box. He doesn't mess around with it, just side foots that one out for a Bristol throw-in. It's 1-1, and it's been dramatic here on the opening day of the season.
A last-minute winner for Portsmouth, it looks like, at Ellen Road as well.
Wow, drama in the Championship already. We said it's that division, isn't it? It's why we love it. Here we go. Final few seconds. Ball played into the area. City just have to stand firm on this one now as that one's watched through. And out for a goal kick. And surely now, Peter Swan, that is going to be it. And City will get themselves a point from it, where at one point it looked like it was going to escape them.
Yeah, I think you'd take that. It took 0-0. I did say that at our time. It took 0-0. But like I say, the worry is, let's talk about it after, to be fair, the opportunities that both teams have created.
So Pando just again taking his time. We've had an extra minute of added on time here at the MKM Stadium. Referee Keith Stroud still not looking at his watch yet. Oscar goes up for it, beaten to it, headed forward by Simons. It comes back to Naki Wells. So Murray's in there. Good work from Sellers Fleming to win it. And now fans encouraging a bit of urgency in the final few seconds. Here comes Miller. What can he do? Miller into Sellers Fleming in the area. Deflection just wide and out for a corner.
Come on. I'm going up, Mike. I'm going up.
You're going
I'm
up?
Going up.
I'll stay back, Swanee.
I'm going up. Come on, this would be nice.
We've had nearly 2 extra minutes of added on time. Could you imagine now if City can get something from this? Again, I'll say it, Keith Stroud and corner and late drama a year ago. Ball played by Amir into Miller. Coyle dinks it into the area, headed towards the edge of the box, comes out to Jarvis. Shoot is a shout. Still Jarvis on the edge of the box, takes a deflection. That will just roll it into the path of the keeper. And that will be the final action. And it will not be victory for Volta on the opening day of the season, but it's a point, a late dramatic point, a little bit of handbags pushing and shoving between Oscar and the Bristol City keeper as well. But the Tigers take a point on the opening day. They looked as though it was going to evade them when the goal went in on 84 minutes, when Mayulu scored the substitute. There'd been a threat at Bristol City, particularly in that second half. But Malem fouled. There may be some question marks about the foul, certainly up here in the commentary box. But a foul it was, a penalty given by referee Keith Stroud. And Oscar, who hadn't scored for City in a year, that League Cup game against Doncaster Rovers a year ago, recalled from his loan in Brazil, and he stepped up and coolly slotted it into the bottom corner to give Tigers parity and to give Hull City and Tim Volta on his first competitive game in charge a point as it finishes here at the MKM Stadium on the opening day. Hull City 1, Bristol City 1. Peter Swan.
Well, if the game's going to be like that all season, it's going to be entertaining. It's not only no dull games. Whether we can live like that week in, week out. I know better teams than that are going to punish us more opportunities we give them.
On your final nerve, you mean?
On the final nerve. But yeah, I'm saying take a point, like I say, because they come out of that second half and they threw everything at us, and we were struggling, we were deflections, the keeper having to pull saves off. So I think in the end, I'd say it's a fair point. I think they're probably, looking at the stats, they had more opportunities, they had more, obviously loads more corners, but it's taking them chances. And we talk about that week, season in, season out. Teams that take them chances end up get themselves in promotion winning positions, don't they? But on the back of that, his first home game, there's a lot more to do. Going forward, you can see what he's trying to do and be more decisive and direct, and the body's moving in certain areas, and you can see that the centre halves and full-backs are trying to overload areas, midfield players trying to join in with the strikers. You can see all that. Playing out from the back, he still looked a bit nervy and got caught a couple of times, especially in the first 30 seconds where he got caught. But it's a start, like I say. He hasn't had that long really to put his input into it. Like I say, we're looking to bring new players in as well, which is going to be a positive. So the main thing is not getting beat on the first day of the season. That's a big thing. The pressure's on the own teams to try and get the result. Always has been, always will be. But like I say, look at a striker, gets himself up and running now, whether it's for penalty spot or not, whether it was a penalty or not. Who cares? We'll take it. I'm not sure it was. I'd like to see it again, but it makes a difference now. We've got the point, and let's move forward with it.
Who stood out for you?
My big worry was the keeper. I thought, what I've heard, I expected, let's say, clangers here and there, but I thought he'd made 2 or 3 great saves. Come and took a couple of good crosses that came in. It took them well, so I thought he did well. I see, Alfie Jones is Alfie Jones. He does what he does. Apart from that, I won't say nobody really stood out. Nobody. I couldn't. I won't like to say that so-and-so was your man of the match. I'd say Pandor, to be fair.
Yeah, he's done. He's certainly answered questions about it. I'm not saying that's going to be the case all the time.
No.
But
we
certainly
can only judge him and what we see and what we've seen today. I don't think he wants to blame for the goal. Like saying chances, like saying the first half, when he took one on his face and he had a flick in the second half. So I thought he'd done exceptionally well, really. Not done nothing wrong.
How concerned are you about the left-sided defence?
I'm concerned about how we defend as a team. how we want them to play. And like I said, the fullbacks moves into the centre half where McLaughlin goes into the midfield area. Nobody's took round into the space where he's left. Then all of a sudden, the ball's lost out here on the halfway line. 2 passes. The big lad with the pace gets straight in, and that happened, especially in the first half, 2 or 3 times. No, 3 times it happened where the places there we left, they exploited, and we can't allow to do that because better teams will punish you. Then when you get punished and you go 1 down and 2 down, that's when you see the confidence. So I think we were always in it because I think the way we're going to play and get ourselves in good areas, but it would like we can't be watching that all season back and forward. We're going to score more goals than you, but I think it might be.
It may well be. Like I said, there may be questions that just quickly before I let you go, the penalty, you didn't think it was?
I didn't think it was from up here. I just thought 2 committed players went for it, and he probably was stronger, and it looked that when he knocked him over, and I think obviously being the home fans as well, everybody's gone up. The referee's probably had a panic. Might be, if I see it again, probably angles, whatever, it might be different.
My
first thought, no penalty.
Yeah, we haven't got the luxury of replays either, have we? We haven't been able to see that. So, yeah, give us your thoughts. If you're a City fan, I know you won't mind, it saw City equalising, you'll take that, but worth giving us your views on that performance, on the Tim Volter era, which got underway for the first time on the opening day of the season here at the MKM Stadium. It has finished. Hull City 1, Bristol City 1. I'll be back a little bit later. I'm off to go and get some reaction from the manager and hopefully a player as well. I'll be back after 5 o'clock with all the reaction from all 3 of our games. Let's get you built up and ready for our next 2 as well. We'll bring you Tim Volter if we can before 3. But with Grimsby Town and Scunthorpe United now on the way, you can still talk City as well with Matt Dean, who's over at Fleetwood for us.
Afternoon to you, Mike. Afternoon to you wherever you may be listening across East Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire. This is BBC Radio Humberside Sport, 2:30. We're now building up to our 2-3 o'clock games. We'll also get some reaction on the draw for Hull City between now and the hour. But let's recap the team news in our 2-3 o'clock game.